Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Dragon Ball: I Can Become Stronger If I Am Killed. Chapter 61. The two of them were very happy. Tien Shinhan, congratulations on winning the championship. Everyone congratulated him. Haha, if Ling Tian and the others had participated, I wouldn't have won the championship. Tien Shinhan replied with a smile. Everyone exchanged greetings and left. Ling Tian took Brawly, Cell and Paragus and teleported back to the island. Everyone went fishing, swimming and barbecuing on the island every day. Ling Tian kept thinking in his mind which of the gods of destruction were the weakest. Before crossing over, I watched the God of Destruction contest held by the King of All on TV. It seems that the God of Destruction Sidera of the 9th universe among the 12 universes was defeated before he could even make a move. The comprehensive score of the 9th universe is also the lowest. Sidera of the 9th universe, it seems that I can only find you to test the strength of the God of Destruction. After Ling Tian had a target, he put away the fishing rod and returned to the wooden house. Ling Tian, you are back so early today, are you not going to continue fishing? Brawly was puzzled. Ling Tian should not return to the wooden house before dinner time. Brawly, Cell, let's go to other universes. Ling Tian said and took out the information map of the 12 universes from the storage ring to check it out. Ling Tian, why go to other universes? Cell asked. Let's go to the 9th universe to test the strength of the God of Destruction. Ling Tian responded. Ling Tian, do I need to call my father and Kakarot? Brawly asked. Ling Tian said after thinking for a moment. We don't know the strength of the God of Destruction very well yet. This time, the three of us can go. Brawly nodded. After Ling Tian checked the location of the God of Destruction in the 9th universe, he put the map back into the storage ring. Brawly, Cell, you two catch me. Ling Tian then performed teleportation. The Destruction God realm of the 9th universe. Lord Sidera, it's time for you to go destroy the planet. Angel Mojito said. As the guide angel of the 9th universe, Mojito was also speechless about King Kai Shinluo and the God of Destruction Sidera. With the tacit cooperation of the two, the 9th universe was messed up. Sidera took a sip of the tea on the table and said. Let's go tomorrow. It's a little late today. It's obviously noon now, and you say it's late. Angel Mojito also sighed helplessly and said nothing more. Swish. Suddenly, 3 people appeared in front of the two out of thin air. This seems to be the instant movement of King Kai, but I haven't heard of King Kai abdicating or accepting new disciples in other universes. Angel Mojito was a little confused. The people who came were Ling Tian, Brawly and Cell. Who are you? Why did you come to the Destroyer God realm? Sidera stood up and looked at Ling Tian and the other two with a serious face. It doesn't matter who we are. But, we have something we want to ask you for help. Ling Tian's mouth corners slightly raised. Sidera still couldn't help asking. What is it? Hey! Ling Tian roared, and his black hair turned silver-white, gradually growing longer until it reached his waist. With a dazzling light flashing, Ling Tian transformed into Super Saiyan 5. Seeing this, Brawly and Cell also exploded. Brawly transformed into Super Saiyan 4, and Cell became Golden Cell. We want to test your strength. While Ling Tian was speaking, he flashed in front of Sidera and punched him in the abdomen. Ah! Sidera did not expect Ling Tian to attack suddenly, and his body arched into a shrimp shape and flew backwards. So you humans are here to mess things up. You are really looking for death. Sidera quickly stabilized his body in the air, and rushed towards Ling Tian with a burst of energy. In the blink of an eye, the two of them fought together. Bang! 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 Sidera kicked Ling Tian, and Ling Tian endured the severe pain and punched Sidera in the head. In an instant, the two fought for hundreds of rounds. Ling Tian could clearly feel that his strength was getting stronger and stronger, and the violent energy of the super bloodline was constantly bursting out. Every time Sidera attacked him, his pain growth continued to increase his combat power. What's going on? How come this human keeps getting stronger? Sidera had never seen such a human before and was stunned. At the moment when Sidera was stunned, in a flash, Cell appeared above him and punched Sidera with a heavy punch. Boom! Sidera was blasted into the ground, and a large amount of dust rose from the ground. The smoke dissipated, and a huge deep pit appeared on the ground. Ah! Before Sidera could get up, Brawley grabbed Sidera's head and pressed it to the ground and rubbed it. After a while, he plowed all over the planet, and then kicked Sidera into the air. Ling Tian condensed a huge energy ball on his finger and threw it at Sidera in the air. Planet Destroyer. Boom. A violent explosion sounded, and Sidera appeared in front of everyone with a dusty face. Sidera felt that he had lost all his face, being beaten up by 3 humans in front of the angel. You all go to hell. Sidera roared, and his breath continued to rise, and a purple flame enveloped his whole body. Sidera appeared in front of Ling Tian and punched him. Ling Tian saw this and immediately swung his right fist. Bang! The 2 fists collided and each retreated. Sidera, it seems that your strength is not that good. Ling Tian said sarcastically. I didn't expect that 3 humans who suddenly appeared would have such strength. There are 2 people who can continue to become stronger through fighting. It's really interesting. Angel Mojito watched with relish on the side. He would not intervene in the battle. Sidera did not destroy the planet or practice all day, and it was just right that someone could help him teach him a lesson. Cell put his hands on his waist and condensed energy, and blasted towards Sidera. Kamaha. Sidera didn't care about the energy attack and said lightly. Destruction. A purple energy ball appeared in Sidera's hand and was thrown at Cell. The Kamehameha Qigong wave disappeared as soon as it touched the energy ball and continued to fly forward. Cell, get out of the way. Ling Tian shouted. Seeing the energy ball coming, Cell immediately teleported and appeared next to Brawley. You guys are really good at running. Sidera appeared in front of Brawley in a flash. Break. Swish. Ling Tian teleported and appeared next to Sidera, kicking Sidera in the waist. Sidera's energy release was interrupted and flew backwards. Brawley, Cell, you 2 go to the side and wait for me. Ling Tian said. The 2 nodded and left the battlefield. Sidera stabilized his body in the air and was furious. He, the great god of destruction, was fooled by a few humans. Ah, unforgivable. Sidera condensed a huge destructive energy ball in his hand and blasted it towards Ling Tian. Destruction. Ling Tian then condensed a purple-red energy ball in his hand and threw it towards Exadela. Annihilation. The 2 energy balls collided with each other, and the destructive energy was swallowed up bit by the annihilation energy. After swallowing up the destructive energy, the energy ball continued to fly towards Exadela's position. What's going on? What kind of energy is that? Exadela had never expected that his destructive energy would be swallowed up. He was stunned and stood there motionless. The angel Mojito was also in such a situation for the first time. Logically speaking, the god of destruction is the top combat force in the universe, and the destructive energy of the god of destruction is not something that ordinary people can easily destroy. The purple-red energy ball actually swallowed up the destructive energy easily. No, Angel Mojito seemed to have thought of something and turned his head to look. Why is this Sidera like a fool, motionless? If he is hit by energy, he will lose a layer of skin even if he doesn't die. Shua. Angel Mojito's figure flashed, and he instantly appeared in front of Sidera, stretching out his staff to resist the energy. Sidera saw Mojito appear in front of him to help him resist the energy, and he also recovered. I have lost all my face today. If I had known, I would have gone to work and destroyed the planet. Angel Mojito looked at Sidera and shook his head helplessly, then said to Ling Tian and others. You are all very strong. Which universe are you from? Suddenly, Ling Tian had a flash of inspiration and came up with a good idea. We are from the 6th universe. Since you are from the 6th universe, why did you come to the 9th universe? Angel Mojito was puzzled. Brawley and Cell said after knowing Ling Tian's idea. Originally, the 3 of us had been staying in the 6th universe, and suddenly one day, Shangpa, the god of destruction of the 6th universe, came to us and said that he had been unhappy with Sidera, the god of destruction of the 9th universe. That's right, Shangpa said that there should be no fighting between the gods of destruction, so he spent a lot of money to let us test Sidera's strength. Ling Tian then added another sentence. Shangpa also said that if we can beat up Sidera, he will give us a shuttle cube. Sidera was furious when he heard this. He had no grudges against Shangpa, so why did Shangpa do this to him? Ling Tian and the other 2 got away with it with their superb acting skills, and even the angel Mojito didn't see any flaws. This Shangpa, Mojito, let's go to the 6th universe to ask Shangpa for an explanation. Sidera said angrily. Lord Sidera, I think we should just forget it. Angel Mojito said. Forget it, how can we just forget it like this? Sidera couldn't swallow this breath. Angel Mojito sighed. Lord Sidera, your strength is much weaker than Lord Champa. Isn't it asking for trouble to ask for an explanation? This. Sidera also began to hesitate. No, I must seek revenge on Champa. Suddenly, Sidera made a major decision. Mojito, you have to train me every day in the future, and I will work on time every day to destroy the planet. Angel Mojito responded with a smile on his face. Okay, Lord Sidera. Ling Tian and the other two were stunned when they heard this. They thought Sidera would go to Champa for trouble, and they could sit back and reap the benefits. If you two don't go to the 6th universe, then we will leave first. Wait, Angel Mojito suddenly stopped Ling Tian and others. It's over. Did this angel see something? Or does he want to attack us? Ling Tian pretended to be calm and said, what's the matter? What is the name of the purple-red energy you released just now? Where did you learn it from? Angel Mojito asked. This. Shangpa originally wanted to teach me how to use destructive energy to deal with Sidera, but I don't know what happened. When I was refining the energy, it mutated. Shangpa saw that this energy was so powerful, so he gave it a domineering name, Annihilation. Ling Tian started to talk nonsense seriously. Oh. Is that really the case? Angel Mojito was a little unconvinced. The god of destruction has changed so many times, and he has never heard of anyone refining destructive energy to mutate. If there is nothing else, we will go back to the 6th universe first. Goodbye. As he spoke, Ling Tian took Brawly and Cell to perform instant teleportation. Seeing Ling Tian and the other two leave, Sidera seemed to have thought of something and then spoke. Mojito, contact King Kai, and ask him to come to destroy the God Realm. Okay, Lord Sidera. Angel Mojito saw Sidera's idea at a glance and shook his head helplessly. Then he took out the staff and started to contact King Kai. After a while, King God Luo appeared in the Destroyer God Realm. King God Luo was a little confused. Sidera, what's the matter with you looking for me so urgently? Luo, are there any very powerful humans in our 9th universe? Sidera asked. Powerful humans. King God Luo responded after thinking for a moment. I just met 3 humans with pretty good strength recently. Sidera was immediately interested. What are the strengths of these 3 people? Can they compete with the god of destruction? King God Luo was a little confused. Could it be that Sidera's brain was stuck in the door? How could there be humans with the strength of the god of destruction in the 9th universe? King God Luo smiled bitterly. Their strength is average, and there is no way to compete with the god of destruction. Are there any humans in the 9th universe who are stronger than them? Sidera asked impatiently. The 3 of them are the 3 strongest humans I have met so far. Mojito, what happened to Sidera? Asked King Kai. He was. What? King Kai couldn't believe how humans could have the same strength as the god of destruction. Luo, bring those 3 people to the god of destruction realm, and train with me every day from now on. There are such strong humans in the 6th universe, I must train them too. Sidera said in his heart. King Kai nodded. Kai. After a while, King Kai appeared in the god of destruction realm with 3 wolves. King Kai introduced the 3 to Sidera. They are Bergamo, Lavanda and Basil of the Dangerous Trio. Okay, I know. Seeing the low combat power of the 3, Sidera responded impatiently. Earth of the 7th universe. Swish. Ling Tian, Brawly and Cell returned to the island. Ling Tian, that god of destruction named Sidera isn't that powerful. Cell said with a smile. Ling Tian shook his head and said. Cell, you're wrong to think that way. You and Brawly haven't found a way to deal with the god of destruction's destructive energy yet. Ling Tian, you can also release that kind of energy, why don't you make an energy ball for us to try? Brawly suggested. Ling Tian was stunned at the time, Brawly was too powerful. He actually wanted to try to take on the annihilation energy. Is he going to die like this? Brawly is right. If we can take on your energy, we can definitely withstand the destructive energy. Cell saw the power of annihilation energy in the 9th universe, and even the destructive energy could be swallowed up. Ling Tian was in a dilemma. Ling Tian, you have to believe that we can do it. Brawly said firmly. The two of them were so excited that they had to face each other. Okay then. Ling Tian condensed a purple-red energy ball in his hand, constantly diluting the annihilation energy inside. The color of the energy ball kept changing and gradually turned into a deep red. The annihilation energy inside was very little, probably only about 10%. Brawly, you transform first. Brawly nodded, roared into the sky, and his aura continued to rise, successfully transforming into Super Saiyan 4. Ling Tian saw that Brawly had successfully transformed, and then threw the energy ball to Brawly in the air. Brawly looked at the energy ball in front of him and quickly stretched out his hands to resist. Unexpectedly, as soon as his hands touched the annihilation energy, the aura on his body was swallowed up bit by bit. Ah! Brawly screamed loudly, and the violent energy of the super bloodline continued to burst out, trying to resist the annihilation energy. No matter how the energy in Brawly burst out, it could not resist the continued devouring of the annihilation energy. No, Brawly was very unwilling. If he could not resist the annihilation energy, he would never be able to seek revenge on Champa. I must seek revenge on that fat cat. Brawly roared, and his aura increased again. The originally clear sky suddenly became cloudy, with lightning and thunder, and lightning struck Brawly all around. I saw that Brawly's hair turned from black to silver white and slowly grew to his waist, and the red hair on his body and the tail behind him also turned silver white. Ling Tian, isn't this the form you used to destroy the God Realm in the 6th universe before? Cell asked. Yes, this is Super Saiyan 5. Ling Tian did not expect Brawly to surpass himself and transform under extreme circumstances. Brawly's strength increased greatly after transforming into Super Saiyan 5, and the annihilation energy was easily resisted and could not move forward half a step. Brawly kept compressing the energy ball with both hands, and the energy ball kept shrinking. Bang! The energy ball was directly crushed by Brawly. Ling Tian, I succeeded. Brawly landed from the air, looking excited. Ling Tian also smiled and raised his thumb. Brawly, is Ling Tian's annihilation energy very strong? Can't your Super Saiyan 4 withstand it? Cell asked. That's right, no matter how I resist, I can't stop the swallowing of annihilation energy. Brawly responded with a serious face. Seeing Brawly so serious, Cell was a little panicked, wondering if his platinum form could withstand it. Brawly, the annihilation energy in that energy ball just now was only about 10%. Ling Tian said. 10% is so strong. Brawly and Cell were stunned. Looking at the stun too, Ling Tian explained. Destruction energy is not as strong as annihilation energy. If you can withstand 40% to 50% annihilation energy, you don't have to be afraid of destruction energy. Is that so? The two nodded immediately. Brawly, you just broke through to Super Saiyan 5, go to the side to consolidate your realm first. I'll try to see if Cell can withstand annihilation energy. Brawly nodded and stepped aside. Hey! Cell soared into the sky, and released all his breath with a roar. A dazzling golden light flashed, and Cell's green skin turned golden yellow, and Cell turned into Golden Cell. However, after Cell transformed into Golden Cell, he did not intend to stop, and his aura increased again. What's going on? Could it be that Cell has a new transformation? Brawly explained to Ling Tian. Ling Tian, we have been fighting in normal state since we left the Dragon God Realm. It's normal that you don't know. After Cell, Piccolo and Gohan developed the potential of Ryuiki in the Dragon God Realm, they continued to fight against the evil dragon and realized new transformations in the battle. Is that so? Ling Tian understood immediately. Hey! With a roar, Cell's golden skin slowly turned into silver white, his aura continued to strengthen, and the violent energy on his body continued to surge. A dazzling light flashed, and Golden Cell turned into Platinum Cell. Platinum Cell exuded a cold aura all over his body, making it difficult for people to get close to him. Ling Tian was stunned. Cell in this form could actually use the violent energy of the super bloodline. I wonder if he can continue to become stronger in battle. Ling Tian, I'm ready, quickly condense an energy so I can try it. Cell shouted loudly. Ling Tian nodded, and then condensed a purple-red energy ball in his hand, constantly diluting the annihilation energy inside. When he felt that the energy was about the same as Brawly's just now, he threw the energy ball to Cell in the air. As the energy ball kept approaching, Cell condensed a protective shield on his body and kept fighting against the energy ball. Sure enough, just as Brawley said, although this energy does not look very powerful, it is very strange. No matter what kind of energy you use to resist, it will be slowly swallowed up, and you can only rely on your own strength to crush it. Ha! Quote. Cell roared, and as the violent energy of the super bloodline continued to surge, he gradually resisted the annihilation energy, but Cell's face was pale, and wounds of various sizes kept appearing on his body. Ling Tian saw something was wrong at a glance. Although Cell could use violent energy in this form, the energy burst was too fast for his body to bear. If it weren't for Piccolo and Slug Cells constantly restoring his body, he would have been blown up by the energy. After Cell and the annihilation energy stalemate for a minute, he successfully crushed the energy ball. At this time, Cell fell from the air with sweat all over his head. Cell, did this happen when you used this transformation before? Ling Tian asked. Cell recalled his transformation in the Dragon God realm in his mind, and then said, "If I only use a little bit of violent energy, it won't be like this. If it keeps bursting, the energy will be out of control and directly affect my consciousness. After the consciousness is affected, the body will be damaged." Quote. Oh, this is the same as Brawley's previous situation. The energy keeps bursting out and affects the consciousness until the body can no longer bear it and then faints. Quote. Suddenly, Ling Tian had an idea. He had a consciousness recovery potion. He, Brawley, Son Goku and Son Gohan had used 4 potions in total, and now there was 1 left. Ling Tian then took out the last consciousness recovery potion from the storage ring and handed it to Cell. Cell shook the potion twice and asked, "Ling Tian, what is this?" Cell, "Won't your consciousness be affected by the violent energy? Drink this and you won't be affected anymore," Ling Tian responded. After hearing this, Cell immediately opened the potion and drank it in 1 gulp. Ling Tian, this potion really works. Quote. Cell could clearly feel that his consciousness would no longer be affected by the violent energy, and he could control the burst of energy. Ling Tian nodded and then said, "Brawley, it's your turn. I will release a stronger energy ball in a while, you must be careful." I know. Ling Tian trained Brawley and Cell to resist annihilation energy every day, but Paragus went to practice with Sun Wukong and others. A few months later, on a planet far away from the Earth. This planet is extremely special, and is filled with a sacred atmosphere like the Kaioshan realm. At this time, a purple Corny's Rex cat in the huge ancient tree woke up from sleep, yawning and looking around. "Whis, Whis, where have you been again?" Beerus yelled in dissatisfaction. "Master Beerus, you're awake." Whis looked at Beerus with a smile. "Whis, go prepare some food first." Beerus touched his stomach. As expected of Master Beerus, he only eats and sleeps. Whis nodded with a smile and began to prepare meals. Soon, Beerus took off his pajamas and changed into the clothes of the god of destruction, and appeared on the dining table. "Lord Beerus, why did you wake up early this time?" Whis was a little confused, because Beerus would not wake up unless he slept for hundreds or thousands of years. I was sleeping well, but I suddenly had a dream." Beerus took a bite of food and responded. "What dream?" Whis was a little curious. "Ha ha ha." Beerus suddenly laughed and said, "Whis, I dreamed that a human defeated me, do you think it's possible?" Oh, Whis also laughed when he heard it. If Ling Tian and his group's strength continued to increase, they might really surpass the god of destruction. "By the way, Whis, how much work do I have to do?" Beerus asked. Whis took out the staff and checked it, and then said, "Lord Beerus, if you destroy planets all day, you can finish all the work you owe in about 3 years." "What? 3 years?" Beerus was shocked. Suddenly, Beerus seemed to think of something and said angrily, "This Frieza, I gave the universe to him to take care of, but he didn't complete the task I assigned him. Whis, hurry up and see what Frieza is doing now." "Okay, Lord Beerus." Whis then picked up the staff and observed. "Lord Beerus, your little brother Frieza is dead." "Dead? How is that possible? Although Frieza's strength is not strong, there are few people in the universe who can be his opponent." "Lord Beerus, Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta as you ordered. Most of the Saiyans were exterminated. Only a few Saiyans on other planets survived. The Saiyans scattered outside gathered together and killed Frieza. How could the Saiyans defeat Frieza with their strength?" Beerus didn't believe it at all. Lord Beerus, ordinary Saiyans are indeed no match for Frieza, but after they realized the Super Saiyan transformation and their strength increased several times, Frieza was defeated. Whis explained. Super Saiyan. Beerus patted his head. Is there any connection between Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan God in my dream? Whis, where is that Saiyan now? Whis checked through the staff. That Saiyan is on Earth now. Earth, I remember I went there once before. I destroyed that planet because a group of guys called dinosaurs were rude to me, right? Whis nodded. Whis, how long does it take to get from the Destruction God realm to Earth? Beerus asked. After thinking for a moment, Whis responded, it will take about 30 minutes. Is it that far? It's enough to watch an episode of anime. Beerus was stunned. What a hassle. Forget it, Whis, let's go to Earth now. Beerus still wanted to go to Earth to see what the connection was between the Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan God. Okay, Lord Beerus. Beerus put his hand on Whis' back and turned into a stream of light and flew towards the Earth. Earth, Son Goku, Vegeta, Son Gohan, Piccolo, Paragus, Son Goten and Trunks were fighting on the training ground. Son Goku kicked Vegeta and said, Vegeta, you've become stronger again. Did you secretly practice at night again? Vegeta punched back on Sun Wukong's head. I won't waste any time in training, I must surpass Ling Tian and the others. The two of them immediately started a fierce battle. Swoosh. Suddenly, two people appeared where Sun Wukong and the others were training. The people who were fighting in the air stopped and landed from the air. A cat and a person. Vegeta recognized who this strange combination was at a glance. Childhood Shadow. Lord Beerus, what are you doing on Earth? Vegeta asked with a nod. Oh, this person actually knew him. Beerus kept thinking in his mind. This person gave people a very familiar feeling, but he couldn't remember who it was. Whis saw Beerus's confusion and then explained. Lord Beerus, this is King Vegeta's son, Vegeta IV. So it's King Vegeta's son. Beerus nodded. Hey, boy, do you know where the man who defeated Frieza is? Kakarot, come here quickly. Vegeta shouted. Vegeta, why are you so afraid of him? Sun Wukong looked at Vegeta's behavior and felt a little abnormal. This is the god of destruction of our universe, Lord Beerus. God of destruction. It was the first time for everyone to see the god of destruction. They had only heard a little about him from Ling Tian and Old Kai before, and now it seems that there is nothing special about him. Beerus looked at Sun Wukong and said, you are the one who defeated Frieza, so do you know the Super Saiyan God? What do you want to do with the Super Saiyan God? Sun Wukong asked. Don't worry about it, you just need to tell me where the Super Saiyan God is. Beerus' expression suddenly became serious. Super Saiyan God is just a transformation of Saiyans, and we don't know who you are looking for. Sun Wukong responded with a smile. A transformation. Beerus always felt something was wrong, shook his head and said. Then just tell me the identity of the person who can transform into Super Saiyan God. Goku pointed at Vegeta and others and said, all of us can transform into Super Saiyan God. Boy, you are not lying to me. If you lie to me, you will be destroyed. Beerus said with a serious face. Whis ran to a big tree at some point and watched the show quietly. Goten, you transform into Super Saiyan God and show him. Goku said. Okay, Dad. Goten roared, releasing all his breath. His body was wrapped in red flames, and his hair turned red. Very good, you have the aura of God at such a young age. Little boy, come over here. Let me see your strength. Beerus put one hand behind his back in a very pretentious manner, wanting to fight with Son Goten with one hand. Piccolo saw that the situation was not right, and immediately used instant teleportation. The two of them were so busy that they had to face each other. Shua, Pico appeared on Ling Tian's island. At this time, Ling Tian, Brawly and Cell were roasting a giant wolf around a fire. Ling Tian, something bad has happened, Pico said anxiously. Ling Tian turned his head and looked at Piccolo, who looked panicked, and asked. Piccolo, what happened? Pico took a deep breath and said. The god of destruction in our universe just appeared on Earth. He has been looking for the Super Saiyan God. He should have fought with Goten now. The god of destruction. Something is wrong. It has only been a short time since Majin Buu was defeated. Shouldn't the god of destruction wake up in a few years? Ling Tian, let's go quickly. The god of destruction will hurt Godin soon. When Brawley heard the word, god of destruction, he was even more angry than when he heard Kakarot's name before, and the violent energy in his body continued to surge. In Brawley's opinion, the god of destruction was as unreasonable as that fat cat. Ling Tian nodded. Catch me. Ling Tian led Brawley, Cell and Piccolo to perform instant teleportation. Swish. Ling Tian and the other four appeared at the place of the battle. Beerus held the Super Saiyan god Sun Godin with one hand. Sun Godin's clothes were tattered and his body was covered with wounds. Kakarot, why don't you go up to help Godin? Brawley grabbed Son Goku's clothes and said. That's right, you have so many people and you are afraid of him alone. You have practiced for so long in vain. Cell said angrily. Cell and Ling Tian had been wandering in the universe for several months before they found the Super Dragon Balls to revive Brawley. They didn't want to experience the feeling of losing their partners again. Hey, Cell roared, and his aura continued to grow stronger. Lightning struck from the sky, and Cell's green skin gradually turned silver white. A dazzling white light flashed, and Cell became Platinum Cell. After completing the transformation, Cell did not hesitate, soared directly into the sky, and attacked Beerus. Bang! Cell kicked Beerus, and Beerus arched into a shrimp shape and flew backwards. Cell looked at the injured Sun Godin and said, Godin, go to Ling Tian first. Sun Godin nodded and flew to Ling Tian's position. Oh my, what should I do now? Sitting on the tree, Whis also showed a worried expression on his face, not knowing whether it was for Beerus or Ling Tian. Godin, eat the senzu bean first. Ling Tian took out a senzu bean from the storage ring and handed it to Godin. Okay, Uncle Ling Tian. Godin swallowed a senzu bean and all the injuries on his body were restored. HMPH. Brawley let go of Goku's hand and snorted coldly. He transformed into Super Saiyan 4 with a burst of energy and rushed towards Beerus. Beerus was stunned by Cell's kick. He didn't expect that someone would intervene in the battle. Beerus stabilized his body in the air and looked at Platinum Cell in the distance. He was a little shocked. Have humans become so powerful after sleeping for a few years? Swoosh. Accompanied by a burst of wind, Brawley appeared in front of Beerus, and the two stood opposite each other. God of Destruction Beerus, right. Let's fight you. Oh, another powerful human has come. It seems that this trip to Earth is not in vain. Beerus muttered to himself. Brawley's figure flashed, and he punched Beerus in the abdomen. Beerus flew backwards again, with a slight smile on his face. He hadn't met a strong opponent for a long time, and he was still very excited even after being beaten. Hey, Beerus roared, and his aura continued to rise, and the whole earth kept shaking. Cell didn't care whether you were angry or not, and appeared next to Beerus in an instant, kicking him in the waist. Ah, you don't have martial ethics. You actually sneak attacked. Beerus punched Cell with a backhand punch. Cell quickly stabilized his body in the air and said to Brawley beside him. Be careful, this man is much stronger than that Sidera. Brawley nodded solemnly. Kaioshin Realm. Ancestor, is that purple cat the god of destruction? Kaioshin Shin asked. That's right, old Kai responded with a trembling voice. As soon as this stinky cat wakes up, the universe will be restless. Ancestor, Beerus has already started fighting with Ling Tian and the others, what should we do now? Even the Kai King realm can clearly feel the three powerful auras. The old Kai King put his hands behind his back and looked up at the sky. We can't stop them, we can only pray that they finish the fight quickly. Otherwise the entire universe may be destroyed. Earth. Beerus looked at Brawley and Cell and said with a smile. Although you two are not Super Saiyan gods, I am still happy to fight with you. I can also be Super Saiyan God. It's just a transformation beyond Super Saiyan God. Brawley roared, the red hair on his body gradually receded, the arrogance gradually turned into light blue, and a sacred aura enveloped Brawley's whole body. A dazzling light flashed, and Brawley successfully transformed into Super Saiyan Blue, with blue hair fluttering in the wind. Oh, Beerus was stunned. The Super Saiyan God he dreamed of had red hair. Seeing that the battle was about to begin, Ling Tian turned his head and said to Sun Wukong and others. Do you want to join us? As soon as he finished speaking, Ling Tian did not wait for Sun Wukong and others to reply, and he burst into the sky. Hee hee. Ling Tian roared and transformed into Super Saiyan Blue, floating opposite Beerus. Yes, last time, He and others wanted to find the god of destruction of the sixth universe to avenge Brawly. Why are they so timid when facing the god of destruction this time? Hee. After Sun Wukong and others figured it out, they burst into anger and soared into the sky. A dazzling light flashed, and Sun Wukong, Sun Gohan, Vegeta and Paragus transformed into Super Saiyan Blue. Piccolo's green skin turned orange, his expression became more majestic, his body became taller, his muscles swelled, his eyes turned red, and Piccolo turned into Orange Piccolo. Everyone surrounded Beerus. Ling Tian looked around and found that except for the two little guys, Goten and Trunks, everyone else had come up. He nodded with satisfaction and said, "Beerus, the Super Saiyan God you want is here. What's going on? Shouldn't the Super Saiyan God be one person? How can there be so many?" Beerus was stunned. This prophetic dream was a bit fake. Beerus pretended to be calm and swallowed his saliva. "If you want to come up, come together. I'm fearless. I'm waiting for you to say this." Ling Tian's figure flashed, appeared in front of Beerus and punched him. "Ah!" Beerus screamed and flew backwards. "How is that possible?" Beerus was shocked. This man's strength was almost catching up with the ordinary god of destruction. "I had to show my true strength, otherwise I would be in trouble." Beerus stabilized his body in the air and released all his energy. He was wrapped in a purple flame. The battle was won. "Oh my, Lord Beerus, I haven't used my full strength for a long time. I don't know what the outcome of this battle will be." Whis sat on the tree and muttered to himself, but one hand tightly grasped the staff, as if preparing something. So strong. The breath that Beerus burst out immediately made Sun Wukong and others understand how powerful the god of destruction is. Everyone's body couldn't stop shaking, not knowing whether it was because of fear or because they were excited to meet a powerful opponent. Sun Wukong gritted his teeth, and a burst of energy quickly rushed towards Beerus, only to see him clasped his fists and slammed into the opponent. However, in the eyes of Beerus, who was at full power, Sun Wukong's amazing speed was no different from that of an ordinary person. He had even seen all of Sun Wukong's movements clearly the moment he attacked. Beerus' figure flashed, and he easily dodged Sun Wukong's attack. "What?" Sun Wukong punched Beerus's afterimage, and found that Beerus was quietly watching him. With a bang, Sun Wukong took a light punch from Beerus, and the whole person flew backwards as if he had suffered a heavy blow. Then Beerus dodged and instantly appeared beside Sun Wukong, kicking him hard in the abdomen. "Ah!" Sun Wukong screamed, feeling that his body was about to break in half, and flew backwards towards the position of Ling Tian and others. Swish! Vegeta's figure flashed and caught Sun Wukong. "Kakarot, are you okay?" Sun Wukong wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, took out a senzu bean from his pocket and ate it, then said, "This god of destruction is too strong. I can't see his movements at all." Beerus smiled and hooked his finger at Ling Tian and others. "You all come together." Everyone looked at each other and nodded, rushing towards Beerus from various positions. Swish! Ling Tian moved behind Beerus in an instant and kicked him towards Brawly. "Huh!" Beerus was a little confused. He had clearly seen all their movements just now, so how come this guy suddenly appeared behind me? Facing Brawly's attacking fist, Beerus swung his right fist and punched him. Beerus did not move at all, but Brawly retreated hundreds of meters away. At this time, Cell, Piccolo, Son Gohan, Vegeta and Paragus had come to Beerus, waving their fists and attacking Beerus. It is said that two fists cannot beat four hands, but Beerus was still able to handle the siege of 5 people with ease. Bang, bang, bang. The few people then started a fierce battle, directly from the earth to the universe. "Is this all your strength?" While speaking, Beerus suddenly exerted his strength, punching and kicking Vegeta and Son Gohan away. Seeing that ordinary attacks were completely ineffective, Piccolo put 2 fingers of his right hand on his forehead, and the energy continued to gather at his fingertips, and his right hand suddenly stretched forward. "Magic light killing cannon," Pico shouted, and his 2 fingers shot out a super strong energy beam surrounded by spiral energy, attacking Beerus. Seeing that the energy was about to attack, Beerus stretched out his right hand and slapped the energy away with a casual slap. How is it possible? Pico couldn't believe that his strongest move was so easily resolved. Beerus dodged and instantly appeared above Piccolo, and punched him with both hands. "Ah!" Pico screamed and fell from the universe, hitting an unknown planet. Paragus dodged and instantly appeared behind Beerus, waving his fist to attack Beerus. Bang! Beerus stretched out his left hand and easily caught Paragus's fist. Paragus used all his strength, but couldn't break free from Beerus's restraints. Beerus suddenly smiled, condensed an energy bomb on his right hand and pressed it on Paragus. Boom! With a violent explosion, Paragus was covered in wounds and lost his ability to fight, and fell from the universe. Cell roared, and the violent energy on his body continued to surge. He waved his fist and rushed towards Beerus again. Bang! The fist and the head collided with each other, making a loud noise. Beerus did not move at all, and took the attack abruptly and backhanded. Just a punch on Cell. Cell endured the severe pain and fought Beerus in close combat. Although his attack could not cause much damage to Beerus, there was no better way now. In an instant, Cell was covered with wounds, and a trace of green blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Although Piccolo and Slug Cells continued to restore his body, Cell still could not resist Beerus' attack. Suddenly, Beerus grabbed Cell's body and kept hitting his abdomen with his knees. Ah! Cell had no ability to resist and could only let out painful wails. As if sensing someone coming, Beerus threw Cell casually, and Cell's body kept falling down, and no one knew where he fell. The people who came were Ling Tian, Broly and Son Goku, who had just flown from the Earth. Only Beerus came into view. At this time, he was suspended in the universe with his hands crossed. It seemed that the others had been defeated by Beerus. Ling Tian thought for a moment and said, "Wukong, this god of destruction is too powerful. If you go to fight with your current strength, it will be the same as before. You should go and merge with Vegeta first." Sun Wukong nodded, kept sensing Vegeta's breath, and then used instant movement to leave. Beerus looked at Sun Wukong, who was leaving, and was a little confused. Why did he leave just after coming? Ling Tian and Broly looked at each other and released the transformation of Super Saiyan Blue. Accompanied by the roar of the two, lightning struck around them. Ling Tian and Broly's hair turned silver white and slowly grew to the waist. Silver white hair grew on the chest and palms. The long tail on the back also turned silver white, and there was a strong muscle. After Ling Tian and Broly transformed into Super Saiyan 5, they quickly rushed towards Beerus. Beerus was a little shocked. He didn't expect that these two humans could transform more powerful than the Super Saiyan God. Beerus seemed to take this battle very seriously. He didn't feel casual at all like he did when he fought Cell and the others just now. In the blink of an eye, the three of them started fighting. Every time the three of them punched each other, the shock wave spread to the surroundings. The nearest planets either exploded or were blown away. Broly, who was fighting, suddenly withdrew from the battlefield and continued to gather energy in his chest. Ling Tian, get out of the way! Broly shouted and rushed towards Beerus. Ling Tian heard the words and immediately used instant movement to move away from Beerus' position. Boom! Accompanied by a violent explosion, Beerus was directly blown away by Broly's chest gas bomb. Beerus quickly stabilized his body in the air and quickly flew back. Although Beerus was not injured, his clothes were burnt and torn. The two of them were very good. Okay, you two are pretty good. Beerus was a little annoyed, and a burst of energy condensed purple light balls around him. With a wave of his hand, the light balls quickly attacked Ling Tian and Broly. Purple light spinning ball. Looking at the dense light balls coming, Ling Tian and Broly quickly used energy to condense a protective shield on their bodies and then dodged. Only a few energy balls hit the two people, and the other energy balls kept flying back and hitting the planets. For a while, explosions sounded everywhere, and the planets were constantly destroyed. Since it was like this, Ling Tian couldn't care so much, and then condensed a huge energy ball in his hand and threw it at Beerus. At worst, you can find the Dragon Ball to recover after the fight. Vast Omega. As the energy ball left Ling Tian's hand, it continued to split and turned into several air balls that attacked Beerus. Beerus dodged the attacks of the air balls one by one through superb movement and quickly rushed towards Ling Tian. Unexpectedly, Broly suddenly appeared in front of him and threw an energy ball with his right hand. The energy ball continued to grow in the air into a giant energy ball and blasted towards Beerus. Massive meteors. Destruction. As Beerus spoke, a huge purple energy ball suddenly appeared in his hand and was thrown towards Broly's position. The two energy balls collided in the air, and after the destructive energy swallowed the energy ball, it flew towards Brawly's position again. Brawly has been fighting against the annihilation energy for the past few months, and now it's a good time to see the results. Ling Tian moved behind Beerus in an instant and wanted to kick Beerus. Unexpectedly, Beerus turned around gorgeously and grabbed Ling Tian's foot. Beerus shook his head and said, "The moves you used on me will have no effect if you use them again." Ling Tian did not respond, but gathered energy in his chest. Boom! A violent explosion sounded, and both of them were blown away. What? Beerus was furious. He had just finished pretending to be awesome, but he was slapped in the face the next second. A huge energy ball as hot as the sun appeared in Beerus's hand. Scorching bomb! Beerus shouted and threw the energy bomb at Ling Tian. Swish! Just when the energy bomb was only tens of meters away from Ling Tian, a person appeared out of thin air beside Ling Tian and kicked the energy bomb away with one foot. The man was strong and sturdy, wearing the clothes of the Metamo people, with messy red hair draped over his shoulders, reddish-brown hair covering his chest and palms, and a long reddish-brown tail behind him. "Who are you?" Beerus was puzzled. How could a human with the strength of an ordinary god of destruction appear again? He had never met this Saiyan on Earth just now. Gogeta said to Beerus very confidently, "I am neither Son Goku nor Vegeta. I am the one who will defeat you." Ling Tian was speechless immediately. When it comes to pretending, you have to look at Gogeta. "Oh, it seems that you are very confident in your strength," Beerus said to Gogeta with a smile. Gogeta maintained his cold personality, ignoring what Beerus was saying, and attacked Beerus with a burst of anger. Beerus' figure flashed and began to fight. Bang, bang, bang. Loud noises came from the sky, and the battle between the two directly affected the entire universe. Countless planets and galaxies were destroyed in the battle. The two punched each other and retreated. Gogeta taunted, "You don't look that good." Beerus's face became gloomy, and he raised his right hand and pointed it at Gogeta. Destroy. Gogeta also saw that the energy ball in front of him was very powerful and strange, and then put his hand on his waist to condense energy. Kameha Qigong Wave. The two energies collided with each other and cancelled each other out. Interesting. Beerus didn't expect that his destructive energy would be offset by ordinary energy. It seems that the person on the opposite side has a good control of power. The two then fought again. Ling Tian, have Kakarot and Vegeta merged. Brawly flew over from a distance. Ling Tian nodded. Gogeta is really amazing. If Kakarot and the others' basic combat power weren't too low, they would definitely be even stronger after merging. Brawly muttered. Swish. Suddenly, Son Gohan also used instant teleportation to catch up. But this Gohan in front of him is very similar to the Super Saiyan 2 form, but his hair and eyebrows have turned silver, and he has silver flames and pink lightning in the explosive state. Beast Gohan. Ling Tian was shocked. He thought Gohan could only transform into the mysterious state. He didn't expect that Long Yi's potential was so strong that he could even transform into the beast form. Son Gohan looked left and right but couldn't see Piccolo, so he asked Ling Tian. "Uncle Ling Tian, where is Uncle Piccolo?" Ling Tian shook his head and responded. "I didn't see Piccolo and the others when I first came. They should have been injured by Beerus and fell on the planet." Son Gohan exploded and rushed towards Beerus. "Brawly, let's go too. It's time to end." As they spoke, the two of them exploded and rushed towards Beerus. What the hell? Beerus was stunned. Where did such a strong person come from? Ling Tian, Gogeta, Brawly and Son Gohan surrounded Beerus. Beerus swallowed and said, "I'm not afraid of you." The battle was about to start. Bang, bang, bang. The few people fought without caring whether they were injured or not, and kept attacking each other. Even though Beerus was strong, he was beaten with wounds all over his body and bruised and swollen. The situation of Ling Tian and others was even more pessimistic, and blood kept flowing from the corners of their mouths. Brawly flashed and appeared above Beerus, wrapped in energy. Exploding meteor. With Brawly's shout, he radiated energy bombs in all directions with himself as the center. Beerus exploded again, and the purple flames on his body became darker and larger. Countless energy bombs hit Beerus without making any sound, and all turned into purple particles and disappeared. Ling Tian condensed a huge purple-red energy ball in his upper hand. Seeing this, Gogeta and Son Gohan put their hands on their waists to condense energy and blasted towards Beerus. Kamahaha. HMPH. Trivial tricks. Beerus snorted coldly and raised his right hand to condense a purple energy ball. Destruction. I'm waiting for your energy. Ling Tian threw the condensed energy on the destructive energy ball. Annihilation. The annihilation energy ball directly swallowed the destructive energy ball and flew into the depths of the universe. How is it possible? Beerus couldn't believe that his destructive energy would be swallowed so easily. No. When Beerus came to his senses, Vegeta and Son Gohan's Qigong waves had already hit him, and Beerus quickly condensed energy in his hands to resist. Boom! With a violent explosion, Ling Tian, Broly, Vegeta, and Son Gohan were blown away by the shock wave. The shock wave continued to spread in all directions, destroying the planets wherever it went. Space cracks continued to appear at the place where the energy exploded just now, and the entire universe was shaking constantly. The old Kai, Shin and Jebbet were watching everything around the crystal ball. Jebbet saw that Beerus didn't show up after the explosion, so he couldn't help asking. Old Kai, did Ling Tian and the others win? Old Kai said after thinking for a moment. Yes, but not completely. Jebbet was confused. Ahem. The god of destruction is very powerful. Once they fight, the universe will be destroyed. It seems that Ling Tian and the others won this time, but Beerus fought under extreme control of his power. That's why the god of destruction can't fight or fight before. Shin said with a sad face, looking at the crack in the space. Old man, this is the end. The universe is going to be gone. Ah, old Kai sighed, not knowing what he was thinking. Earth, I didn't expect the final result would be like this. Whis, who was sitting on a tree observing the battle, was very surprised, and then fell from the tree, turning into a stream of light and flying into the universe. Whis appeared near the space crack, holding the staff and tapping a few times. Time goes back. Everything went back to 3 minutes ago. Broly flashed and instantly appeared above Beerus, wrapped in energy. Exploding meteor. As Broly shouted, he radiated energy bombs in all directions with himself as the center. Swish. Whis appeared in front of Beerus, stretched out his staff and waved it, and all the energy bombs were easily blocked. Whis, why are you here? Beerus was puzzled. Whis usually doesn't intervene in the battle. Whis responded with a smile. Lord Beerus, you have already fought once. Only those who are in Whis' barrier will not lose their memories before the time travel. Oh, is that so? Beerus nodded. It seems that the battle affected the entire universe, so Whis used the time travel to change the time. Broly saw that his energy was blocked by an unknown person, and then rushed up again. Before Broly rushed over, he was hit in the abdomen by Whis' staff before he could attack. Broly screamed, arched into a shrimp shape and flew backwards. While flying backwards, Broly directly withdrew from the Super Saiyan 5 transformation. Shua. Ling Tian caught Broly with an instant move. Broly, are you okay? Ling Tian, I'm fine, he just beat me out of the transformation. Broly responded. As expected of an angel, the power control is so perfect. Ling Tian murmured. Vegeta and Son Gohan were shocked. Originally, they thought this person was a follower of the god of destruction, with the same strength as Jepitel, but they didn't expect him to be stronger than the god of destruction. Seeing that they didn't need to fight anymore, Vegeta dissolved the fusion and turned back into Son Goku and Vegeta. Whis, long time no see. Ling Tian smiled and greeted Whis. Long time no see, I didn't expect your strength to improve so quickly. But do you still have the delicious food from last time? Whis replied with a smile. Delicious food? What delicious food? Whis, you secretly ate behind my back again. Beerus roared in dissatisfaction. Ho ho ho. Whis covered his mouth and responded. Lord Beerus, you were sleeping at that time, and I didn't have the heart to disturb your sweet dream. Whis, wait a moment, I'm going to find my other companions now. Ling Tian responded. You are still the same as last time. Whis smiled and checked the staff, and told Ling Tian the location of Cell and others. After a while, Ling Tian used teleportation to bring everyone back. After eating the senzu beans, all the injuries of everyone recovered. What are the beans you gave them? Beerus was shocked. He had been the god of destruction of the 7th universe for so long, but this was the first time he saw such a magical little green bean. People who had lost their fighting ability could recover to their peak after eating one. This is senzu beans, which are only available on Earth. The food you want to eat is also from Earth. Ling Tian responded. Whis, let's go to Earth quickly. When Beerus heard about food, he ignored other things. Lord Beerus, please catch me. Sun Wukong said. What for? Beerus was puzzled. Lord Beerus, they can teleport, which is much faster than our speed to Earth. Whis explained. Hurry up. Beerus put his hand on Sun Wukong's shoulder. Ling Tian, are you going to Vegeta's house or mine? Sun Wukong asked. Let's go to Vegeta's house. We need to find the Dragon Balls later. Ling Tian responded. Everyone nodded. Earth, swish, swish. Everyone teleported and appeared in front of Bulma. Vegeta, Ling Tian, you guys went to fight again, look at how dirty your clothes are. Bulma looked disgusted. Sun Wukong smiled and scratched his head. Ling Tian asked. Bulma, where is the Dragon Ball radar? It's on the table in the living room. Go get it if you want it. Ling Tian walked towards the living room after hearing this, and turned to Bulma as if he had thought of something. Prepare some food for those two first. Ah, Bulma sighed, and Ling Tian, Goku and others came to eat. Come with me. Bulma asked everyone to sit down at the dining table on the balcony, and told the nanny to start cooking. Several robots kept delivering food to the table. It smells so good. Beerus picked up a fish ball with chopsticks, smelled it and put it in his mouth. I saw that Beerus suddenly stood up and clenched his fists. What's going on? Everyone was puzzled. This god of destruction couldn't even eat peacefully. Wouldn't he want to fight again? Everyone put down the food in their hands and stared at Beerus with their eyes. After more than 10 seconds, Beerus said happily. It's really delicious. Then Beerus put all kinds of food on the table into his mouth like a starving ghost. Why is this god of destruction like a country bumpkin? What did he eat before? Sun Wukong and others saw that Beerus had no intention of fighting, so they also joined the ranks of eating. Bang, bang. Several people ate together, and the bowls and chopsticks kept colliding. Piccolo was also shocked. He didn't expect that this god of destruction could eat more than the Saiyan. Vegeta, give me this chicken leg. I saw that Sun Wukong and Vegeta's chopsticks were both on the last chicken leg. Kakarot, you've already eaten 4 chicken legs, I can't give you this one. What are you arguing about? Beerus slapped the chopsticks of the 2 people away with his hands, picked up the chicken leg and put it into his mouth, saying vaguely. This way, you 2 don't have to fight anymore. Wow. Whis was amused by Beerus's operation. Sun Wukong saw that the chicken legs were gone, so he ate the barbecue on the side. Vegeta didn't say anything more, but got up and walked towards the kitchen. After a while, Vegeta brought a large bowl of chicken legs and placed it in front of him. The 2 of them were so busy that they had to eat together. Shua. After Ling Tian finished looking for the Dragon Balls, he brought Trunks and Son Goten who were at the training ground. Son Goten said proudly, Dad, you didn't come to us after the battle, but you are still eating here. Ha ha ha. When Son Goku heard that he was going to eat, he forgot everything and could only smile foolishly. Trunks, Goten, you 2 come to me. Vegeta gave the big bowl of chicken legs he had just brought out to the 2 of them. Great, great. Trunks and Son Goten were very excited, holding a chicken leg in each hand and eating. Half an hour later, everyone was full and satisfied. Ling Tian took out 7 Dragon Balls from the storage ring, placed them on the ground, and then summoned them. Come out, Shenlong. The 7 Dragon Balls resonated with each other, emitting dazzling light. When the light faded, Shenlong was summoned. Shenlong said with red eyes. The one who collected all 7 Dragon Balls. Tell me your wish. I will fulfill any wish. Beerus asked Whis who was eating pudding on the side. Whis, can this dragon really fulfill any wish? Shenlong was unhappy when he heard this. Who dared to question my ability? He turned his head and looked. I saw a thin humanoid cat half lying on a chair in the distance, holding a glass of orange juice in his hand. Lord Beerus, this should be a wishing bead made by the Namekians, but it can only fulfill some small wishes. Shenlong was panicked and looked nervous. Lord Beerus. Lord Beerus, I didn't expect you to be here. I'm so sorry to be standing so high up talking to you. Beerus was not interested in why the dragon knew him and its ability to fulfill small wishes. He waved his hand casually. Don't worry about me, just fulfill their wishes. Okay, Lord Beerus. Shenlong looked at Ling Tian and others and said. Do you have any wishes that need to be fulfilled? Shenlong, please restore all the planets and humans that we destroyed in the battle with Beerus just now. Ling Tian said loudly. Shenlong responded hesitantly. This you have destroyed too many planets and galaxies. I can't do it with my ability. Hey, why are you restoring those planets? This battle has reduced my workload for several months. Beerus was unhappy when he heard it. Why fulfill such a wish? Ling Tian, what does this god of destruction mean? Sun Wukong and others were very confused. Ling Tian was just about to respond. Shua, Old Kai, Xin and Jebet appeared in front of everyone. Old Kai, Lord Kai. Sun Wukong and others greeted him. Old Guy, how did you get out? Beerus was confused. Wasn't this old man sealed in my sword? HMPH. Old Kai snorted coldly, ignored Beerus, and turned to Sun Wukong and others. King of the Kai is the creator of life in the universe. He can create planets until life appears on the planets, and then guide life to gradually become stronger. The god of destruction is the balancer in the universe. The universe needs a balanced state, not too beautiful, nor too war-torn. Even the number of celestial bodies needs to be moderate. The job of the god of destruction is to remove those celestial bodies that are considered inappropriate, so that the entire universe is in a balanced state. Old King of the Kai, then don't we restore those destroyed planets? Ling Tian asked. You dead cat has sealed me up for so long, don't think it's so easy to complete your overdue work. Old King of the Kai said firmly. Must restore. Old guy, don't come to make trouble, aren't you afraid that I will seal you up again? Beerus looked a little ugly. Beerus, if the higher-ups know that you destroy large areas of planets and galaxies like this, what do you think will happen? Old King of the Kai said indifferently. This. Beerus hesitated. The planets destroyed by the god of destruction were those that affected the development of the universe. If he was reported by this old man this time, he would be in trouble even if he didn't die. Quote, Shenlong, how much can you recover with your best efforts? Old Kai asked. Shenlong was silent for dozens of seconds, then responded. Old Kai, I can recover about a quarter. Then make this wish come true. Old Kai nodded with satisfaction. Shenlong's eyes lit up, and 10 minutes later. Shenlong said weakly, your wish has come true. Goodbye. Shenlong turned into 7 stones and flew around the earth. Ling Tian's figure flashed, and he collected the dragon ball that was about to fly away. Ling Tian looked at the 7 stone dragon balls in his hand with a shocked face, and the whole person stood still. Ling Tian, what's wrong with you? Brawley walked to Ling Tian and checked. How is it possible? The dragon ball is cracked. Brawley exclaimed. The dragon ball is cracked. Sun Wukong and others ran over to check. Something's wrong. We haven't used the dragon balls much. Is it because the wish we fulfilled this time was too big? Ling Tian, what should we do now? Will the dragon balls turn into evil dragons the next time we use them? Beerus said with a smile on his face. Old man, now it's a disaster. It's all because of what wish you wanted to fulfill. You cat only knows how to gloat over misfortunes. Old Kai originally just wanted to disgust Beerus and make him work a little longer, but he never thought that the dragon balls would be like this after using them once. The dragon balls are now handed over to me for safekeeping, and you can use them when they are restored. Ling Tian said as he put the 7 dragon balls that turned into stone into the storage ring. HMPH. Old Kai and Beerus stared at each other, neither of them would give in. Son Goku scratched his head and asked. Old Kai, there are still dragon balls on Namek, Piccolo's hometown. Do you want to restore the remaining planets? Quote. Goku, you are talking about something else. Old Kai was speechless. He didn't want to use any more dragon balls. If the evil dragon appeared and was not dealt with properly, it would not be a matter of a few galaxies or planets but would affect the safety of the entire universe. Old man, what are you afraid of? Keep using it. Beerus laughed out loud. Whis was also helpless. Old Kai and Beerus could not appear in the same place at the same time. Forget it, Goku. The rest don't need to be restored. Old Kai winked at Shin and Jupiter. The latter nodded, then said goodbye to Ling Tian and others, and teleported away. Beerus watched Old Kai and others leave, and then said, Vegeta, prepare more food for me and pack it up. Okay, Lord Beerus. Quote. Vegeta nodded and told the servants to prepare. After a while, large and small lunch boxes were delivered. Beerus yawned and said, Whis, it's time for us to go back. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis picked up his staff and waved it, collecting all the food. Goodbye, everyone. Whis took Beerus and turned into a stream of light and flew towards the destroyer god realm. The universe is full of hope. In the universe, Beerus couldn't help asking, Whis, what was the result of the previous battle? Wow. Whis covered his mouth and smiled. Lord Beerus, the result is not important. What's important is that if you don't practice, you may be surpassed by them. Humph. Beerus snorted and said, with a human body, you actually want to surpass the gods. Lord Beerus, do you plan to practice this? Beerus hesitated. If other gods of destruction knew that he was surpassed by humans, he would lose face, especially his brother Champa, who would laugh at him for thousands of years. Beerus thought for a moment and said painfully, Whis, then you can train me for 2 hours every day. Okay, Lord Beerus. Lord Beerus has not practiced much since he became the god of destruction. He didn't expect that he would be forced to practice by humans this time. Earth. Sun Wukong racked his brains but couldn't figure out why Whis was so powerful, and couldn't help asking Ling Tian. Ling Tian, why is the servant of the god of destruction so powerful? And his strength has obviously surpassed the god of destruction, why does he still want to be the servant of the god of destruction? Everyone was very confused. Why would a powerful person serve someone weaker than himself? Ling Tian explained to everyone. There are 12 gods of destruction in the 12 universes. Each god of destruction has an angel beside him. The Whis just now is an angel. The angel's job is to supervise the work of the god of destruction and manage the universe. The angel is not only the follower of the god of destruction, but also the supervisor and master of the god of destruction. The master of the god of destruction. Everyone was shocked by Ling Tian's words. No wonder he has such a strong strength. Sun Wushan scratched his head and asked, Uncle Ling Tian, is Jebet also the master of King Kai? Ha ha ha. Ling Tian smiled and responded, Goshen, Jebet is not the master of King Kai, he is just the follower of King Kai. Sun Wushan nodded. Yoshi. Sun Wukong said with a firm look, 12 gods of destruction and 12 angels in the 12 universes are all powerful opponents. I must double my training in the future. I didn't expect that there are so many powerful people in the 12 universes besides the Dragon God realm. Piccolo sighed. Humph, I will surpass them sooner or later. Vegeta snorted coldly. Ling Tian, come with us to the training ground to practice. Sun Wukong suggested. Ling Tian shook his head and responded, Wukong, you go by yourself. I have something else to do. Okay then. Sun Wukong and others nodded, flew into the air and performed the flying technique to fly to the training ground. Ling Tian, are we not going to practice and return to the island now? Brawly asked. Let's go to the Dragon God realm first to see if the Dragon Ball can be repaired. Ling Tian waved his hand and a dimensional wall appeared in front of everyone. Ling Tian took Brawly, Cell and Paragus into the dimensional wall. Everyone came out of the dimensional wall and saw the same buildings as on Earth. Brawly and the other two also sensed the breath of Sun Wukong and others. Ling Tian, aren't we going to the Dragon God realm? Why are we still on Earth after coming out of the dimensional wall? Cell looked puzzled. Ling Tian then explained to several people. This is the time and space of future Trunks. I want to see how strong Trunks and his friends are now, and by the way, ask them if they want to go to the Dragon God realm together. With such a good place to practice in the Dragon God realm, after future Trunks and his friends have practiced, Zamasu who appears later should not be able to easily destroy time and space. So that's how it is. Cell nodded. Swoosh, swoosh. Accompanied by a burst of wind, future Trunks, future Vegeta, future Goku and future Gohan appeared in front of everyone. Uncle Ling Tian, I knew it was you. Future Trunks was very excited and hugged Ling Tian. Uncle Ling Tian, you haven't come to see us for several years. Future Gohan said. Trunks, Gohan, we have been practicing in other places before, but we have only had a little time recently. Ling Tian responded. Future Vegeta glanced around the four. Zhou said. Ling Tian, why didn't I come to your time and space? Is he afraid of being beaten by me so he dare not come? Ling Tian was interested when he heard it. He didn't expect Vegeta to beat up his future self. Vegeta, they went to practice so they didn't have time to come, but what transformation have you mastered now that makes you so confident? Future Vegeta said loudly with great pride. All of us can transform into Super Saiyan 3. Ha ha ha. Cell covered his stomach and laughed loudly. Future Vegeta clenched his fists and was ready to fight at any time. Cell, what are you laughing at? Do you want to be beaten? Stop arguing, Paragus shouted loudly, and then began to burst out all his breath to transform. How is it possible? Future Vegeta was stunned. His strength before he started to transform was already higher than my strength when he transformed into Super Saiyan 3. A dazzling white light flashed, and Paragus was seen with messy black hair draped over his shoulders, his chest and palms covered with reddish-brown hair, and a long red tail behind him. So strong. Future Son Wukong and others were shocked. This is Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta, can you transform? Paragus asked. Future Vegeta shook his head, unable to believe that there was another transformation after Super Saiyan 3. Then, Paragus transformed into Super Saiyan Red and Super Saiyan Blue, and then said, "You in another time and space can transform into these transformations." Future Vegeta thought that his Super Saiyan 3 could avenge the last time, but he didn't expect that his other self would improve so quickly. Uncle Lingtian, are you here to teach me these transformations this time? Future Trunks asked. I'll teach you these transformations in a while. I came here to ask if you want to go to other places to practice. There are many powerful opponents there. Ling Tian responded. Powerful opponents. Future Son Wukong and Future Vegeta were very excited when they heard this. Ling Tian, we are going to that place. Uncle Ling Tian, we want to go too. Ling Tian nodded, and a dimensional wall appeared in front of everyone with a wave of his hand. All of you follow me. Ling Tian said and walked towards the dimensional wall, and everyone followed him. Dragon God Realm. Everyone walked out of the dimensional wall, and what came into view was a huge palace. Ling Tian, are there many powerful opponents in this place? Future Son Wukong asked. That's right. However, your strength is still a little lacking now, let's help you transform into Super Saiyan God first. Ling Tian said and arranged for several people to stand in order to perform the Super Saiyan God transformation ceremony. Swoosh. Accompanied by a sound of breaking wind, Long Yi flew out of the palace. Ling Tian, it's you guys. Long time no see. Long Yi smiled and greeted everyone. Long time no see. Everyone nodded. Isn't this Wukong and the others who came with you before? Long Yi was a little confused. Did Wukong and the others make mistakes in their training and their strength declined? The two of them were so busy that they had to wait for the next few days. This is Wukong and his friends from another time and space. This time they are also here to fight the evil dragon. Ling Tian explained. Long Yi nodded. 10 minutes later. In the future, Sun Wukong and his friends all transformed into Super Saiyan gods. I didn't expect you to have mastered a new transformation. The strength of this form is pretty good. Long Yi said with emotion. Long Yi, do you have a way to make them grow tails? With tails, they can also transform into Super Saiyan 4. Ling Tian said. This is very simple. I'll develop their potential by the way. I saw that Long Yi waved his hand and Sun Wukong and his friends in the future were wrapped in a golden light. When the light dissipated, a long tail grew behind them. Thank you so much. Everyone in the future time and space bowed and thanked. Long Yi waved his hand, you just need to kill more evil dragons. Ling Tian saw that the tail had grown out, and then arranged to transform into Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta, you condense an artificial moon. Wukong, when you turn into a giant ape, you will raise your breath to the highest level, and the giant ape will become a golden giant ape. After regaining consciousness, you can transform into Super Saiyan 4. Okay. Future Son Wukong and others nodded. Future Vegeta slowly condensed an energy ball in his palm, which became bigger and bigger, and threw the condensed energy ball into the air. The energy ball emitted a dazzling light in the air, and the light dissipated, and a full moon appeared in the sky. Future Son Wukong, Future Vegeta, Future Son Gohan and Future Trunks looked up at the full moon, their heartbeats kept accelerating, making loud bangs. Roar, ah! 4 black giant apes several tens of meters high appeared in front of Ling Tian and others. Future Goku and Future Gohan, who had transformed into giant apes, lost consciousness and ran away, continuously releasing energy cannons from their mouths to attack the surroundings. Ling Tian's figure flashed and blocked all the energy cannons. Long Yi smiled and shook his head, and with a wave of his hand, future Goku and future Gohan regained consciousness. Long Yi, thank you. Ling Tian thanked him. Without Long Yi's help, he really didn't know when he could make the two regain consciousness. Kakarot, you, a low-level warrior, lost control as soon as you transformed into a giant ape. Future Vegeta said angrily. Vegeta, I can't do anything. Future Goku was very helpless. Dad, Uncle Goku, let's quickly transform into Super Saiyan 4. Future Trunks said. The aura of the four giant apes continued to rise, and the white aura on their bodies turned golden, and the hair on their bodies also turned golden, and the giant apes turned into golden giant apes. Lightning struck around the few people, and the golden giant ape's body slowly shrank. A dazzling white light flashed, and the future Sun Wukong and others successfully transformed into Super Saiyan 4. Wukong, if you want to go back to your own time and space, just come to this palace to find Long Yi, he will arrange someone to take you back. Ling Tian said. We know, Ling Tian, take us to find a powerful opponent quickly. Several people have realized the new transformation and can't wait to try their strength. Ling Tian looked at the few people who were full of confidence and didn't say anything more, so he said. Long Yi, you arrange someone to take them. Long Yi found a guard from the side and gave an order. While explaining the things about the Dragon God Realm to the future Sun Wukong and others, the guard led everyone to fly to the west of the Dragon God Realm. Long Yi couldn't help but ask, Ling Tian, you don't worry about them at all. Ling Tian was confused by the question. Won't you revive them? What should I worry about? Ha ha ha. Long Yi laughed out loud. That's true, but do you have anything else to ask me? Ling Tian heard this, took out 7 cracked stone dragon balls from the storage ring and handed them to Long Yi, and then explained the use process. Who taught you to fulfill wishes like this? If everyone makes wishes like this, all the dragons will become evil dragons. Long Yi was shocked. He made a wish that was beyond the ability of the dragon. Long Yi, do you have any way to restore this Dragon Ball? Ling Tian asked. I can only turn the stone back into a Dragon Ball. You can defeat the evil dragon yourself later. Don't make wishes like this next time. Long Yi was helpless. He waved his hand and the 7 stone Dragon Balls emitted a dazzling light and turned into back to the appearance of the Dragon Ball. Before Ling Tian could summon the dragon, the 7 Dragon Balls emitted wisps of black smoke, which gathered in the air and transformed into a dragon with wings and an evil aura. The black smoke dragon still had a cigar in its mouth, looking down at Ling Tian and others, and was about to speak. Unexpectedly, Ling Tian directly released all his breath and transformed into a Super Saiyan 5. He appeared in front of the black smoke dragon in an instant, waving his right fist and blasting it. You don't talk about martial arts. The black smoke dragon was directly blown up by Ling Tian's punch, and the 7 Dragon Balls also fell from the air. Long Yi was shocked. He didn't expect Ling Tian to be so decisive. The black smoke dragon was solved in 2 seconds after it appeared. Cell's figure flashed and collected the 7 Dragon Balls. Ling Tian, the Dragon Balls have returned to their original form. Ling Tian nodded, took the 7 Dragon Balls and put them back into the storage ring. Long Yi, we'll go first. Ling Tian waved his hand and a dimensional wall appeared in front of him. Long Yi smiled and said, come often in the future. Ling Tian nodded and took Brawly, Cell and Paragus into the dimensional wall. Main space-time Earth. Ling Tian, Brawly, Cell and Paragus returned to the island through the dimensional wall. Ling Tian, are we going to find Kakarot to practice with them? Brawly asked. No, let's go to other universes first. Ling Tian took out the 12th universe information map from the storage ring and checked it. The 12th universe Jin, the 11th universe Waimai, the 10th universe Rumsey. Rumsey seems to be a pink elephant. Then let's go to the 10th universe to have a look. The 10th universe Destroyer God Realm is here. After checking the information map, Ling Tian said immediately. Brawly, catch me. Ling Tian took Brawly, Cell and Paragus to perform teleportation. The 10th universe destroys the God Realm. Lord Rumsey, this is my outstanding disciple and candidate for the King of the Kai. When I retire, the position of the King of the Kai will be transferred to him. Gewaz said. Zamaz, why don't you say hello to Lord Rumsey and Miss Kays? Zamaz showed a hypocritical smile on his face and bowed to the two people. Rumsey shook his big trunk and asked, Gevaz, you want to retire so early? Gevaz nodded. I'm old, and Zamaz has been trained very well by me now, and he is fully capable of taking over the next king of the Kai. Swish. Suddenly, 4 people appeared in front of them out of thin air. 4 humans. Why would they use the instant teleportation of the Kaioshin? Gevaz muttered. Zamasu still heard Gevaz's tiny voice. How could such a lowly creature as humans use the power of God? Zamasu, as a god, is prejudiced against humans. In Zamasu's eyes, humans refer to all intelligent creatures except God. Zamasu scolded loudly. You humans, don't you know that this is the destroyer god realm? Hurry up and leave. The people who came were Ling Tian, Brawley, Cell and Paragus. Why is Zamasu, the troublemaker, here? Ling Tian was very confused. Could it be that Gevaz was about to step down as the king of the worlds? Brawley, Cell and Paragus observed the 4 people in front of them. The little lowly holding the staff should be an angel, and the pink elephant seemed to be the god of destruction. What are you looking at? How dare you, a human, be so unreasonable and unscrupulous to spy on the gods? Zamasu said as he walked to Paragus, who looked easier to bully, and prepared to punish the human in front of him. Zamaz. Gevaz shouted, trying to stop Zamaz from taking action. When Paragus heard that this little Kai Kingshan follower dared to scold him and others like this, he thought that if you have the strength, you can talk about it, but if you don't have the strength, you dare to pretend. Facing Zamaz's fist, Paragus didn't care at all, and gave Zamaz a big fight with his backhand. Paw, accompanied by a crisp slap in the face, Zamaz was slapped away by Paragus. What's going on? Zamaz got up from the ground, covering his slightly swollen face, and couldn't believe that he was beaten by a human, and then anger surged in his heart. Go to hell, Zamaz shouted, bursting out all his breath, and used his breath to transform a hand knife on his right hand, and then rushed towards Paragus. Zamaz, you. Gevaz was stunned, and he didn't expect Zamaz to become like this. Interesting. Rumsey crossed his hands in front of his chest and watched the show. This Zamasu was much stronger than the average candidate Kaioshin. Hey, Paragus roared, his hair turned red and draped over his shoulders in a mess, his chest and palms were covered with red hair, and his long tail behind him also turned red. Paragus transformed into Super Saiyan 4. Ling Tian looked at Zamasu who was flying over and said lightly, Paragus, just play with him for a while, don't beat him to death. Paragus nodded, and his figure flashed and appeared directly in front of Zamasu. How is it possible? Before Zamasu could react, he was punched in the abdomen by Paragus. Zamasu screamed, his body arched into a shrimp shape and flew backwards. Paragus quickly chased after him and punched and kicked Zamasu. Zamasu was like a football, flying around in the air. Ah! Zamaz had no ability to resist and could only let out painful wails. At the same time, he was thinking, am I not a great god in the universe? Why can't I even beat a small human? Paragus seemed to be tired of playing. He flashed and appeared above Zamasu in an instant, and punched Zamasu. Zamasu's body fell to the ground uncontrollably. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, a large piece of sand and dust rose on the ground. The smoke dissipated, and Zamasu collapsed motionlessly in the deep pit. Paragus dropped a foot from the air and stepped on Zamasu's chest and taunted, didn't you want to kill me just now? You only have this little strength. Who gave you the courage to attack me? Hearing Paragus's repeated taunts, Zamasu was so angry that he vomited blood and stared at Paragus fiercely. I thought there would be something interesting, but I didn't expect to be used as a punching bag. Rumsey was speechless about Zamasu. Gevaz turned to Rumsey, who was watching the show, for help. Lord Rumsey, go up and help Zamasu. Rumsey nodded and responded. Gevaz, don't worry, I won't let them leave easily after hitting our universe. Human, take your foot away. Rumsey walked towards Paragus angrily. After hearing what Rumsey said, Paragus removed his foot from Zamasu's chest and then stepped on it again. Paragus smiled and said to Rumsey, look, I took it away, and I put it back. You, a human, dare to play tricks on me. Rumsey was furious, and his figure flashed in front of Paragus, waving his fist and hitting him. Paragus swung his right fist to resist. Bang! The two men's fists collided with each other and they both retreated backwards. Then Zamasu was not so lucky. The huge collision, the sound of the blow and the shock wave made him faint directly. Seeing this, Jeevas immediately used teleportation to bring Zamasu to Kaze. Miss Kaze, thank you for your help. Kaze picked up the staff and waved it at Zamasu. Zamasu's injuries were instantly healed and he gradually woke up. These humans. Zamasu kept insulting humans as soon as he woke up, which made Jeevas frown and then scolded loudly. Zamasu, how did I teach you before? Zamasu turned his head and saw that he had left the battlefield. He felt relieved and bowed his head to admit his mistake to Jeevas. Oh, Rumsey was a little shocked that the human in front of him could actually block his punch. If you think that you can run wild in the Destruction God realm with this kind of strength, you are wrong. Hey, quote, Rumsey released all his energy in a burst of air, and his body was wrapped in a purple flame. HMPH, I'm not afraid of you. Paragus snorted coldly, adjusted his state and rushed towards Rumsey. Bang, 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 the two moved at high speed, from the ground to the air, and loud noises came from the air. How can there be such a powerful human? Gewaz was shocked. Zamasu stared at the battlefield, not knowing what bad ideas he was thinking. Bang, Paragus kicked Rumsey's big nose. Rumsey rubbed his nose with his thick hands, and then said angrily. You are looking for death. Rumsey's figure shook, and a punch hit Paragus' chest. Ah! Paragus screamed and flew to the position of Lingtian and others. Swish, quote, Brawley dodged and instantly appeared beside Paragus to catch him. He looked at his father's sunken chest with anger. Paragus, you eat a senzu bean first. Lingtian took out a senzu bean from the storage ring and handed it to Paragus. Dead elephant, I just wanted to see what you are capable of. I won't be called Brawley if I don't beat you half to death today. Brawley shouted and released all his breath. The violent energy continued to surge, and lightning struck Brawley's surroundings. Brawley's hair turned silver white and slowly grew to his waist. His chest and palms were covered with silver white hair, and there was a long silver white tail behind him. After Brawley transformed into Super Saiyan 5, he didn't say much nonsense and rushed directly to Rumsey. I didn't expect that this person is stronger than the one just now. Quote. Cass was also a little surprised. What universe were these people from? You dare to call me a dead elephant? I will fight you. Rumsey was furious. Except for those gods of destruction, no one dared to call him that. The two of them were so angry that they rushed to Brawley. Seeing that Rumsey took the initiative to attack, Brawley was suspended in the air, constantly gathering energy on his chest. Chest air bomb. Unexpectedly, Rumsey was blown away just before he arrived in front of Brawley. Rumsey hurriedly stabilized his body in the air and attacked Brawley again. In the blink of an eye, Brawley and Rumsey met in the air and then fought. Humph! Rumsey snorted coldly. Just now, I just let you take advantage of the opportunity. Now you want to fight me in close combat. You are simply overestimating your own abilities. Bang, bang, bang. Brawley punched Rumsey on the head, and Rumsey kicked Brawley in the abdomen. The two punched each other and exchanged injuries. In the battle between Brawley and Rumsey, the violent energy of the super bloodline continued to surge, and the aura on his body continued to strengthen. No, Rumsey suddenly found something wrong. The strength of this human was increasing, and he could not continue to fight him in close combat. Rumsey made up his mind and was about to retreat. Still want to leave? Brawley stretched out his big hand, grabbed Rumsey's big trunk, and smashed it hard to the ground. Ah! As Brawley continued to hit, Rumsey screamed, feeling that his beloved nose was about to break. Brawley threw Rumsey into the air, and then continued to gather energy in his hand, condensing a huge energy ball. Vast Omega! Brawley shouted and threw the condensed energy ball at Rumsey, which split into several gas bombs as it was thrown. Bang! Boom! All the energy bombs hit Rumsey, and explosions sounded everywhere, with thick smoke billowing out of the air. When the smoke cleared, Rumsey appeared in front of everyone with a dusty face. This human made me so embarrassed in front of the angels and the king of the worlds, unforgivable. Moo! Rumsey raised his hands and roared to the sky. Roar! The roar of Rumsey, who has the strongest voice in the universe, can temporarily paralyze the motor nerves of those who hear it, and those who are not strong enough may even faint directly. Seeing this, Kaze quickly waved his staff to condense a protective shield to protect Gevez and Zamasu. A huge roar came from Rumsey's mouth. Brawly was closest to Rumsey, and his nerves were temporarily paralyzed by the sound waves. Rumsey stretched out his right hand and condensed a purple energy ball, throwing it at Brawly, who was motionless. Destruction. As the destructive energy was thrown out, Rumsey no longer paid attention to Brawly, but turned to look at Ling Tian, Cell and Paragus. Ling Tian, it seems that the special ability of this elephant is the roar just now. Let's go together. Help Brawly beat this elephant half to death, Cell suggested. Ling Tian nodded. The two roared, and the aura on their bodies continued to increase. The violent energy continued to surge, and lightning fell from the sky and struck around them. Ling Tian's hair turned silver white, slowly growing to the waist, and his chest and palms were covered with silver white hair, and there was a long silver white tail behind him. The green skin on Cell gradually turned silver white, and a cold breath emanated from his body. A dazzling white light flashed. Ling Tian transformed into Super Saiyan 5, and Cell became Platinum Cell. After the two transformed, they rushed towards Rumsey in the air without any hesitation. Paragus on the side was shocked. He didn't expect that there was such a big gap between his strength and Ling Tian's strength. It seems that he will have to practice more in the future. How is it possible? Rumsey was shocked. He was still thinking about how to deal with these three humans just now. He couldn't let them die painfully. He must torture them well. How come there are two more humans with such powerful strength? Which universe did they run from? Cell flashed and appeared in front of Rumsey in an instant, putting his hands on his head. What is this human doing? Why is he putting his hands on his head instead of attacking his opponent? Rumsey looked at Cell with a confused face. Sun Fist. Ah, my eyes. Rumsey covered his eyes in pain. I didn't expect they would have such a strange move. Even Lord Ramsay was tricked. Kes muttered to himself. Sharu quickly took advantage of the victory and pursued. After hitting Muzi with a set of combination punches, he kicked Rumsey into the air. Ling Tian was wrapped in a golden dragon and rushed towards Rumsey in the air. A huge dragon head shadow could be clearly seen on his fist. Dragon Fist. Ah! Rumsey wailed in pain and fell from the air to the ground, feeling that his chest was about to be pierced. He was a great god of destruction, but he was played by several humans in turn. I won't forgive you, Rumsey said as he was about to rush towards Ling Tian. Dead elephant, where do you want to go? Brawly's voice reached Rumsey's ears. Rumsey turned his head and was stunned. Brawly caught the destruction energy ball with both hands and kept compressing it in his hands, and the energy ball kept shrinking. Bang! The destruction energy ball was directly crushed by Brawly. How is it possible? Rumsey was shocked. This human actually crushed the destructive energy. Brawly flashed and instantly appeared above Rumsey, wrapped in energy. Exploding meteor. As Brawly shouted, he radiated energy bombs in all directions with himself as the center. For a moment, explosions sounded everywhere, and a large area of dust was raised on the ground. The smoke dissipated, and the originally beautiful destruction god realm was blasted into pits and tatters by the energy bomb. My planet, my home, you all go to hell. Rumsey's face was very gloomy, and the aura on his body increased again. A huge purple energy ball condensed in his hand and blasted towards Ling Tian and others. Destruction. Seeing this, Ling Tian condensed a purple-red energy ball in his hand and threw it at the destructive energy. Annihilation. After the annihilation energy ball swallowed the destructive energy, it flew towards Rumsey's location. How is it possible? Rumsey couldn't believe that his destructive energy was actually swallowed up. Seeing that the energy was about to hit, Rumsey stretched out his hands and began to resist the annihilation energy. Good opportunity. Brawly and Cell looked at each other and condensed energy in their hands. Brawly condensed an energy ball on his right hand, and the energy ball continued to grow in the air into a giant energy ball and blasted towards Rumsey. A huge amount of meteors. Cell condensed a huge energy ball on his fingers and threw it at Rumsey. Planetary destroyer. Rumsey used both hands to resist the annihilation energy, and he didn't expect Brawly and Cell to suddenly attack. The three energies kept colliding with Rumsey. Boom! Accompanied by a violent explosion, half of the destruction god realm was directly blown off. The smoke dissipated, and Rumsey was covered in wounds and collapsed motionlessly in the deep pit. Kes, Gevez and Zamasu, who were watching the battle from a distance, did not expect that the battle would turn out like this in the blink of an eye. Swish! Kess' figure flashed and instantly appeared beside Rumsey. He picked up the staff and began to treat Rumsey. After a while, Rumsey recovered. Then, Kess knocked on the ground 3 times with the staff, and the Destruction God realm was restored. Seeing that the angels had already taken action, it was impossible to continue fighting. Brawley, Cell, Paragus, let's go. Ling Tian said and was about to take everyone away. Rumsey was embarrassed today, and he was very unwilling in his heart. He must take revenge, and then shouted at Ling Tian and others. You are from that universe. Cell responded loudly. We are from the 6th universe. You are welcome to come to the 6th universe to seek revenge from us. Ling Tian took Brawley, Cell and Paragus to perform instant teleportation. Chapter 71. The 7 universes are in chaos, and the world is in chaos. The 7th universe. Ling Tian, Brawley, Cell and Paragus appeared in the celestial temple on Earth. Ling Tian, why are you here? Dendi was very confused, because Ling Tian and Gohan were either training or training every day, and rarely came to the celestial temple to find him. Dendi, I have repaired the Dragon Balls and now I give them to you for safekeeping. Ling Tian said as he took out 7 Dragon Balls from the storage ring. That's great. Dendi was excited. He had learned from Gohan how powerful the evil dragon was before. Now that the Earth has been repaired, there will be no disaster. Mr. Popo, take the Dragon Ball to the house and store it. Okay, Lord God. Mr. Popo took the Dragon Ball from Ling Tian expressionlessly and turned to walk into the house. Mr. Popo had been in the Temple of God long before the gods became gods. During the time of Piccolo, Mr. Popo had the strength to surpass Piccolo but did not take action to solve the matter. During the time of Majin Buu, Mr. Popo could easily resist the attacks of Trunks and Son Goten who transformed into Super Saiyans. Ling Tian wanted to see who this Mr. Popo was and what he was doing in the Temple of God in obscurity. Swish! Ling Tian's figure flashed and he instantly appeared behind Mr. Popo, waving his fist and hitting his back. Dendi, Brawley, Cell and Paragus were confused and had no idea why Ling Tian attacked Mr. Popo. Could it be that Mr. Popo was a bad guy in disguise? Just when Ling Tian's fist was about to hit Mr. Popo seemed to have a pair of eyes on his back, and his body dodged the attacking fist. If I suddenly attack Wukong and the others who are not prepared, they will definitely be hit. Mr. Popo is really a hidden talent. Ling Tian saw that he failed to attack Mr. Popo, and then released all his energy, and lightning fell from the sky and struck Ling Tian around him. Ling Tian's hair turned silver white and slowly grew to his waist. His chest and palms were covered with silver white hair, and there was a long silver white tail behind him. Ling Tian transformed into Super Saiyan 5 and quickly attacked Mr. Popo without any hesitation. Mr. Popo made a gorgeous turn and looked at Ling Tian expressionlessly. Ling Tian kept waving his fists, and whenever he was about to attack Mr. Popo, he would be avoided. Mr. Popo shook his head and kicked Ling Tian. Ah! Ling Tian arched his body into a shrimp shape and flew backwards. While flying backwards, he also quit the transformation of Super Saiyan 5. Ling Tian, are you okay? Brawley's figure flashed, and he appeared beside Ling Tian and caught him. Mr. Popo, you. Dendi couldn't believe that Mr. Popo, who had always been kind and amiable, would have such a strong strength. Cell was angry and wanted to attack Mr. Popo. Cell, wait. Ling Tian suddenly stopped Cell. Ling Tian, this Mr. Popo has been hiding his strength, there must be something shameful. Cell said. At this moment, Mr. Popo asked. Ling Tian, what do you want to do? Ling Tian asked back with a puzzled look on his face. Mr. Bobo, you have such a powerful strength, why do you stay in the Temple of Heaven to serve the gods of all generations? Mr. Bobo replied indifferently. Bobo has his own things to do in the Temple of Heaven. Something to do. Everyone didn't believe it at all. You have such a powerful strength, why are you still staying on this small earth? I have been on the earth for several years, and I haven't found anything wrong with the earth. Looking at the people who were not willing to give in, Mr. Bobo had to explain to everyone. When I was very young, my master kept me on the earth and said that I could not leave the earth no matter what in the future, and I must guard the seal well. At the beginning of the universe, there were a total of 20 universes. There were 18 universes under the jurisdiction of the father of the king of all, the great king of all. The 19th universe was the dragon god realm of the dragon god Salama, and the 20th universe was the dark demon realm of Mekikapra. The three places have always lived in harmony and there has been no war. Later, the people of the dark demon realm were dissatisfied with the fact that the great king governed 18 universes alone, and wanted the great king to give up a few universes to the dark demon realm. After the two sides had a fruitless conversation, Mekikap, as soon as La returned to the dark demon realm, he led his men to attack the 18th universe of the great king. The great king would naturally not tolerate Mekikapura. So the two sides fought fiercely. After hundreds of millions of years of fighting, no one could do anything to the other. Suddenly one day, the warring parties got news from nowhere that the dragons in the dragon god realm could improve their strength and realize any wish. So the two sides stopped fighting. In order not to offend the dragon god Sarama, neither side chose to enter the dragon god realm to find the dragon balls, but sent their men to travel through various time and space to find the dragon balls to make wishes. The two sides with enhanced strength returned to the main time and space again to fight fiercely, and no one paid attention to the continuous destruction of the evil dragon. The dragon balls have been used by people, and the dragons have all turned black into evil dragons. All time and space have encountered unprecedented crises. Planets, galaxies, and universes have been destroyed continuously, and some have even been destroyed by the entire time and space. Evil dragons continued to appear in the dragon god realm, and the dragon god Sarama only realized that something was wrong. After some investigation, he learned that all his subordinates had turned into evil dragons. So the dragon god Salama led the dragon people and the evil dragons that had turned into evil dragons out of the dragon god realm, and was bound to make the great king and Mekikapra pay the price. After hundreds of millions of years of continuous fighting between the three parties, his subordinates died and were injured. Seeing their close friends and relatives continue to die, they chose to blow themselves up and die with the other side. 6 of the 18 universes under the jurisdiction of the Great King were directly blown up, and the defense capabilities of the other 12 universes were constantly decreasing. The current universe is so weak because of the explosion at that time, otherwise you can't destroy the universe with your strength. My master couldn't bear to see the lives of the people, so he appeared at the place where the three parties fought and stopped the battle with absolute overwhelming strength. My master and the Great King did their best to help all the evil dragons turn back into dragons. The dragon god Salama chose to retire and close the dragon god realm. No one could enter or leave the dragon god realm again. Only with the approval of the dragon and the permission of Salama could they enter and leave the dragon god realm. Mekikapra's men suffered heavy casualties, so naturally they were not happy to end the battle like this. As a result, the entire dark demon realm and Mekikapra were sealed by my master, and the barrier was on Earth. Each time and space was constantly destroyed by the evil dragon. The Great King ordered that time and space could not be traveled at will in the future. Once discovered, it would be dealt with seriously. He also established the time realm and selected powerful people from the universe to serve as time and space patrolmen to manage each time and space and capture all those who wanted to travel through time and space. After my master told me everything, he built a heavenly god temple on Earth and asked me to guard the seal, and then disappeared with the Great King. With the departure of my master and the Great King, the universe also ushered in peace. The Great King's son, the King of all, took over the remaining 12 universes and claimed to the outside world that the remaining 6 universes were erased by him. In this way, I don't know how long I stayed on Earth and how many gods I served. It was not until decades ago that the seal loosened. The seal loosened. Did the people from the dark demon realm come out? Everyone was shocked. I thought the universe was going to be in chaos again. Mr. Popo explained to everyone. At that time, you hadn't come to Earth yet. I remember that when Sun Wukong was a child, he went to the outer demon world to rescue a little girl. At that time, the outer demon world opened a passage to Earth, but it was sealed by me later. So that's how it is. Everyone nodded. When Wukong was a child, he and others were really not on Earth. You were not on Earth, and I hadn't crossed over yet. Ling Tian said in his heart. It happened so long ago, and I hadn't been created at that time. Cell said in his heart. Mr. Popo said to everyone with a serious face. You should understand now. I won't interfere with you in anything. I just want to help Master guard the seal in the heavenly temple. And you are not allowed to tell anyone about this, not even Sun Wukong and the others. Okay, everyone responded. Mr. Popo, if you need help in the future, just come to us. Ling Tian said. You are still too weak now. If the seal is really lifted, you can't help at all. You should practice hard. Mr. Popo said and walked into the room with 7 Dragon Balls in his hands. Too weak. Ling Tian, Brawly, Cell and Paragus all doubted their lives. After more than 10 seconds. Dendi, we are leaving first. Goodbye. Ling Tian, Brawly, Cell and Paragus took off and flew to the training ground. Swoosh. A few minutes later, several people arrived at the training ground. Trunks, where are your dad and Goku? Ling Tian was confused. Goku and the others were not in the Heavenly Temple, nor on Earth. Where did they go? Trunks and Son Goten said. Uncle Ling Tian, Dad and Uncle Goku went to the Dragon God realm to practice. Originally, Trunks and I wanted to go, but Dad said that you were not on Earth either, so we had to stay on Earth to protect my mom and Aunt Bulma. So that's how it is. Ling Tian nodded. Practicing in the Dragon God realm is much more interesting than ordinary battles. Ling Tian, I also want to practice in the Dragon God realm. Paragus didn't want to fall behind the others in strength. Brawly, Cell, you two should go too. I'll stay here with Trunks and the others. Okay. Originally, neither of them wanted to practice. Their strength was almost enough to fight against the god of destruction. But when Mr. Popo said there were so many powerful people in the Heavenly Temple, their fighting spirit was rekindled. Brawly, Cell and Paragus took out the pass to the Dragon God realm and began to convey information to the Dragon God realm. Suddenly, a space crack appeared in the air, with lightning and thunder. Accompanied by the roar of dragons, a golden dragon appeared in front of everyone. This dragon is so handsome. Trunks and Son Goten's eyes were shining. The golden dragon's eyes were red and he said, Master Long Yi asked me to take you to the Dragon God realm. If you want to go, sit on me. Brawly, Cell and Paragus took off and sat on the back of the dragon. Aren't you 3 going to the Dragon God realm? Shenlong was puzzled. Shenlong, the 3 of us won't go, you can take them there. Ling Tian responded. Okay, goodbye. After flying in the air with Brawly, Cell and Paragus, Shenlong plunged into the space crack. As Shenlong entered, the space crack closed. Uncle Ling Tian, when can Goten and I go? Trunks looked envious. It was so domineering to ride on Shenlong. Trunks, Goten, I will take you there when I have time. Ling Tian responded. Great, great. The two were very excited and looked forward to that day. You two start fighting now, and I will guide you. In the universe, a spaceship that looks like a donut is speeding in the universe. Inside the spaceship, a short, blue-skinned astronaut wearing the uniform of the Frieza army and a white cloak behind him is cursing at a group of soldiers. Useless. All of you are useless. With so many of you, you can't even take over a small planet. A bunch of aliens were scolded. S head could not be raised. Suddenly, a toad-headed alien ran in breathlessly. What do you have to report? Solby was very helpless. Since Lord Frieza was killed by the Saiyans, the power of the Frieza core has been disintegrated. The number of the core continued to decrease every day, and they could only wander in the universe, constantly avoiding the pursuit of enemies and the galactic patrol. Lord Solby, there is news about Namek. Is it true? You should know the consequences of deceiving me. Solby was waiting for this news all the time. As long as King Frieza was resurrected, the Frieza core would be able to restore its former peak and sweep the entire universe, and no longer have to be afraid of those space pirates and the galactic patrol. Lord Solb, it was discovered by our men near the planet Akira. They found a large number of Namekians living on the planet 9240YX at the Su-72 position. Good, very good. Solb laughed loudly and then ordered. Turn the spaceship around now and head for Namek at full speed. Yes. The soldiers hurriedly left the room and ran to the control room of the spaceship. 1 week later, Solb stood on the spaceship with a smile on his face, looking at the universe. When King Frieza is resurrected, the entire universe will belong to our Frieza core. A soldier hurried into the room to report. Lord Solb, the planet ahead is Namek. Very good. Land immediately. The soldier walked towards the control room after hearing this. Wait. Solb seemed to have thought of something and suddenly stopped the soldier who was leaving. Lord Solb, do you have anything else to say? The soldier was panicked, fearing that Solb would kill him. Pass the order down. After landing on Namek, everyone stay in the spaceship and cannot leave the spaceship without my order. Yes. The soldier hurriedly left the room and passed the message down. Lord Solb, why don't we just capture Namek and grab the Dragon Balls? Tejma was very confused. Solb was very happy. King Frieza would be resurrected soon, and then patiently explained to Tejma. Tejma, Namekians are a peace-loving race. If they can hand over the Dragon Balls obediently, I don't want to cause trouble. Don't forget that the Galactic Patrol guys are still tracking us. On Namek, a group of Namekians are planting puffball trees. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Suddenly, there were loud noises in the air, and a giant spaceship slowly fell from the sky. Sensing the evil breath, the warriors of Namek flew over from all directions. Crack, the hatch of the spaceship slowly opened, and Solb and Tejma walked out. The village elder looked at the two aliens in front of him and said, I am Robo, the elder of this village. Who are you? What's the matter with Namek? Hello, old man, we want to borrow your Dragon Balls. Solb said hypocritically. In order to revive King Frieza and avoid the guise of the Galactic Patrol, he could only endure it for the time being. The two of them were so busy that they had to wait for the next day. Dragon Ball, what do you want the Dragon Ball for? Elder Robo was very confused. Elder Muli had already made a wish to the Dragon Purunga to move Namek. How did these people know the location of Namek? If the news of the Dragon Ball was leaked, Namek would be restless again. Tagma responded loudly. We want to revive King Frieza. Frieza. All the Namekians were stunned. These people turned out to be Frieza's subordinates. Frieza did all kinds of evil when he invaded Namek last time. He destroyed several villages in succession and killed countless Namekians. Elder Robo said angrily, I will not give the Dragon Ball to you evil people. Old man, you don't want to drink. If that's the case. Solb clapped his hands, as if he was sending some signal. I saw astronauts with different looks and advanced weapons running out of the spacecraft. All of you go together and kill them all. Solb commanded the soldiers to attack. Yes. After receiving the order, the soldiers dispersed and surrounded the Namekians. Wait. Elder Robo suddenly stopped Solb. Solb said with a smile on his face. Old man, have you changed your mind? Then hand over the Dragon Ball quickly. Elder Rob shook his head and said firmly, I will not give you the Dragon Ball, but you can't make a wish to the Dragon Purunga even if you kill the Namekians. The smile on Solb's face gradually disappeared, and then he said angrily. You old man, don't you want to say that only the Namekians can summon the dragon? That's a pity, my men have learned the Namek language. Kill them all quickly, and then go find the Dragon Ball. Elder Rob's face couldn't be greener, he didn't expect this result. Elder Rob, let's fight them. The war was about to start. Bew, bew, bew. The soldiers aimed their weapons at the Namekians and kept shooting. One by one, the Namekians fell in a pool of blood. The Namekian warriors were extremely angry, and they soared into the sky and condensed gas bombs to throw at the soldiers. Tagma, I'll leave those more powerful guys to you. Solb said as he led two soldiers to the village to look for the Dragon Ball. Tagma nodded, released all his energy, and instantly appeared in front of the combat-type Namekian. The combat-type Namekian had no ability to resist and was killed one by Tagma. Without the obstruction of the combat-type Namekian, the soldiers continued to harvest the lives of the Namekians. After a while, Solb walked out of the village, and the soldier next to him was holding a 4-star Dragon Ball the size of a football. Solb looked at the Namekian who was completely destroyed in front of him and nodded with satisfaction, then turned on the detector to check. Let's go to the next village. Solb gave an order and led a group of soldiers to fly eastward. In a village in the west, a Namekian hurriedly ran into an oval house. Great Elder Muli, many evil auras suddenly appeared on the planet, and Elder Robo's village has been attacked. I know. Great Elder Muli stood up and took out a crystal-like object from a small box beside him. Alas, Great Elder Muli sighed, thinking that Namek had returned to peace and would never use this thing. Great Elder Muli exerted a little force with his right hand, and the crystal-like object was crushed. Ling Tian, I hope you can feel it. Earth. Ling Tian, who was guiding Trunks and Son Goten in battle, suddenly froze. The crystal I gave to Elder Muli was broken. Is Namek in danger again? Trunks, Goten, stop practicing for now. I'll take you to a place. Trunks and Goten stopped fighting and fell from the sky. Catch me. Ling Tian took Trunks and Goten to perform teleportation. Namek. Swish. Ling Tian. Trunks and Goten appeared in front of Elder Muli. Ling Tian, you are finally here. Elder Muli saw Ling Tian appear, and he was no longer worried. He believed that Ling Tian would definitely save Namek. Ling Tian asked, Elder Muli, what happened? Elder Muli responded with a melancholy face. Ling Tian, just now a group of cosmic people suddenly came to Namek, and now they have attacked several villages. Elder Muli, don't worry, we will definitely handle this matter. Ling Tian was very confused. Who is looking for the Dragon Ball? Frieza's 3 fathers and sons and Slug are already dead. Goten scratched his head and asked, Uncle Ling Tian, are we going to fight the bad guys now? Trunks said to Goten with a smile. Goten, why can't you sense the aura? They are already flying over here. Ha ha ha, I just forgot for a moment. Sun Wushan laughed foolishly. Ling Tian, who are these 2 kids? Are they powerful? Grand Elder Muli always felt that he had seen the crab-headed boy somewhere before. Ling Tian explained to Grand Elder Muli with a smile. Grand Elder Muli, the one with black hair is Goku's son, and the one with blue hair is Vegeta's son. Grand Elder Muli said with a gratified smile on his face. So they are their children. This little boy looks so much like Goku. Swoosh, swoosh. Accompanied by a sound of breaking wind, Solb led the army to appear in front of Ling Tian and others. Hurry up and kill all the Namekians. Solb commanded the soldiers to attack. After more than 10 seconds, the soldier not only did not take action, but his body kept shaking, like a mouse meeting a cat. Solb scolded loudly. Do you guys want to rebel? Hurry up and do it. Tagma pointed at Ling Tian and others tremblingly. Lord Solb, you, look over there. Waste, a bunch of waste. A few Namekians scared you like this. Solb scolded Tagma and turned his head to look. You don't know until you see it, and you'll be shocked when you see it. How is it possible? Solb was a little skeptical about life. He and others knew that there were Saiyans living on Earth, so they had never gone to Earth to look for Dragon Balls. How come there were Saiyans on Namek? Hello, hello, the Dragon Balls will be returned to you now, and we will leave immediately. Solb greeted Ling Tian and others, and ordered his men to put the Dragon Balls on the ground, turned around and wanted to leave. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Solbei kept praying in his heart as he turned around. Don't leave now that you're here. Ling Tian said as he raised his right hand, condensed a circular disc with energy, and threw it at Solbei. Cut the disc. Ah! Solbei screamed and was cut in half. After seeing Solbei's miserable state, the soldiers knelt down and begged for mercy, saying non-stop. It's none of our business. Solbei forced us to do it. That's right. Solbei wanted to revive Frieza, so he came to Namek to find the Dragon Balls. The old man was so angry that he was beaten. You traitors! Tagma was furious, and a Qigong wave blasted all the soldiers into slag. The plan to resurrect King Frieza has been exposed, and Lord Solb is dead. Now I can only give it a try. Ha! Tagma released all his breath with a burst of Qi and quickly attacked Ling Tian. Facing the attacking Tagma, Ling Tian didn't care at all, and backhanded a big Bidu. Pa! With a sound, Tagma was slapped away by Ling Tian and fainted. Uncle Ling Tian, why don't you kill him? He is also a bad guy. Grand Elder Muli, Trunks and Son Goten looked puzzled. In the original work, Togama and Solb used the Earth Dragon Ball to revive Frieza. After Solb's recommendation, Togama became Frieza's sparring partner. In just 4 months, Frieza transformed into Golden Frieza, and Togama also gained very strong strength as a sparring partner. Nobita once said that Togama's strength should be no less than his strongest time, and Piccolo also lost an arm in the battle with him. What is so special about this Togama? Is his talent stronger than that of the Saiyans? Ling Tian stared at Togama and kept thinking. Is Togama the same race as Jiren? Or is he a hybrid of Jiren's clan? Was Togama sent to the 7th universe when Jiren's clan was exterminated? Ling Tian was shocked by his own thoughts. Jiren and Togama in the 11th universe are both bald, with the same skin color and ears, but Jiren is more sturdy and has bigger eyes. Uncle Lingtian, what's wrong with you? Sun Wuxian ran over and tugged at Lingtian's clothes. It's Wuxian. I'm fine. Lingtian shook his head. Let's talk about Tagma later. Great Elder Muli, I will take this person away in a while. When I return to Earth, I will use the Dragon Ball to revive the Namekians who died this time. Great Elder Muli said. Lingtian, no need. The Dragon Balls of Namek have been enhanced by me. Lingtian asked. The Shenlong Paranga has been enhanced. Can it revive many people at a time? Great Elder Muli nodded and then said. That's right. Since Frieza invaded Namek last time, I realized the importance of Dragon Balls. After several years of transformation of the Dragon Balls of Namek, the Shenlong Paranga can also revive many people at a time, and people who have died many times can also be resurrected. Wow, it's the same as the Dragon Balls on Earth. Sun Wuxian exclaimed. Dandy is indeed an excellent dragon. At such a young age, his ability has caught up with me, the Great Elder. Said the Great Elder Muli with emotion. Swoosh, swoosh, accompanied by a burst of wind, several elders flew over holding a dragon ball the size of a football. As early as when Ling Tian appeared, the Great Elder Muli sent a message to the elders of each village. Great Elder, we are here. The elders greeted him one after another. The Great Elder Muli nodded and then summoned the Dragon Paranga. Come out, Paranga, the god of dreams. Fulfill my wish. Namek language. The 7 dragon balls the size of footballs resonated with each other, emitting dazzling light. The light dissipated, and the dragon was summoned. Paranga said with red eyes. The one who has collected all 7 dragon balls. Please tell me your wish. I will make it come true no matter what it is. Paranga, please revive all the Namekians killed by the aliens this time. Elder Muli said loudly. This wish is very simple. The dragon Paranga's eyes sparkled. The killed Namekians came back to life one after another. 10 seconds later, your wish has come true. Please tell me your next wish. After reviving the Namekians, Elder Muli had no more wishes to fulfill, so he turned his head and asked Ling Tian on the side. Ling Tian, do you have any wishes to fulfill? Ling Tian said after thinking for a moment. Elder Muli, move Namek to the vicinity of the Earth. In this way, if Namek is in danger, Goku and I can arrive in time. Elder Muli nodded. Even if he made a wish to change the location of Namek, it would still be found. It would be better to be closer to Ling Tian and the others. Paranga, please move Namek closer to Earth. Namek language. This wish is very simple. Exclamation mark quote. The eyes of the dragon Paranga sparkled. Your wish has come true. Please tell me your last wish. Grand Elder Muli asked. Ling Tian, what is your last wish? Ling Tian didn't know what wish to make at this time. Now that he has the ability to travel through time and space, he can easily find the Super Dragon Ball. He doesn't even care about such a small wish. Tagma woke up in a daze, looking at the strange creature with muscles and 2 horns on its head in the air with a puzzled look. Could this strange-looking monster be the dragon? Seeing that Ling Tian and others were reluctant to reply, the dragon Paranga urged. Please tell me your last wish. I will fulfill any wish. It's really the dragon. Then I can revive King Frieza now. Tagma then said loudly. Please let the Emperor of the Universe Frieza appear in front of me intact. Namek language. This wish is very simple. Quote, the eyes of the dragon Paranga shone. A flash of white light passed by, and the cosmic Emperor Frieza appeared in front of Tagma. Your wish has come true. Goodbye. The dragon Paranga turned into 7 stones and flew in all directions. Frieza. When the Namekians saw Frieza, their faces turned greener, and sweat as big as raindrops kept flowing from their foreheads, and their legs couldn't stop shaking. What the hell? Ling Tian had already discovered Tagma when he woke up. Tagma was still a small minion, so he ignored him. He never expected that Tagma actually learned the Namek language. King Frieza, you are finally resurrected. Tagma was excited. His and Solb's efforts for several years were finally not in vain, even though Solb was dead. Oh, quote, Frieza was very excited. He finally left the children's park. Then he pretended to be calm and said, did you resurrect me? Are you from the Legion? Tagma responded quickly. Lord Frieza, I am the general of the 3rd star field of the Frieza Legion. We have gone through a lot of hardships to resurrect you. Frieza nodded and asked with a puzzled look. Why are you the only one here? Where are the other people in the Legion? Tagma told Frieza with tears and snot. Lord Frieza, since you were killed by the Saiyans, the Frieza Legion has been annexed and hunted by various forces. Quote. Enough. Enough. Stop chatting. Ling Tian interrupted the conversation between Frieza and Tagma. Why is this voice so familiar? Frieza turned his head and looked. It's you. Quote. Frieza was furious. He still remembered the scene when he was beaten up by this earthling on Namek. Sun Wukong and the others were not here at the moment, so he dealt with this earthling first, and then rushed towards Ling Tian with a burst of anger. The two of them turned into Super Saiyan 1, and without any hesitation, they quickly stood in front of Ling Tian, wanting to see how powerful this person who made Uncle Krillin so scared was. Super Saiyan. These two little ghosts are also Super Saiyans. Saiyans, all of you go to hell. Frieza was furious. It was these Saiyans and Earthlings who made me suffer every day in the children's playground. Heavenly Elf. Frieza, who had just rushed up, was kicked in the abdomen by Sun Goten before he could attack. Boom. Frieza arched into a shrimp shape and flew backwards, his body hit a mountain and was buried by the rolling rocks. Frieza roared, his breath strengthened again, and the rocks buried in his body were blown away directly. Sun Goten scratched his head and said, Trunks, this man named Frieza is not that powerful. I really don't understand why Uncle Krillin is so afraid of him. Not that powerful. Trunks seemed to have thought of something interesting, and flew towards Frieza's position while talking. Trunks stood beside Frieza, gestured Frieza's height with his hand, and said loudly. Goten, look, he's shorter than me. Trunks transforms into a Super Saiyan, his hair stands up. Ha ha ha. Ling Tian immediately covered his stomach and laughed. No, I'm going to die of laughter. Little brat, you're looking for death. Frieza gritted his teeth, raging, and swung his fist at Trunks' head. Bang! The fist and the head collided with each other, making a loud noise. Trunks didn't move at all and took the attack. Trunks mocked. Frieza, didn't you eat? You don't have any strength at all, no wonder you are so short. Immediately afterwards, Trunks launched an attack, punching Frieza continuously. Ah, ah! Frieza had no ability to resist and screamed in pain from being beaten. King Frieza. Tagma wanted to rescue Frieza, but was kicked away by Trunks. How boring, Trunks muttered to himself, and then punched Frieza. Boom! Frieza's body fell uncontrollably from the air and hit the ground, raising a large amount of dust. The smoke dissipated, and Frieza collapsed on the ground with injuries all over his body, but he stared at Ling Tian and others fiercely. Oh, Ling Tian was a little shocked. Frieza's ability to withstand beatings became stronger again. Trunks put his hands on his mouth to form a trumpet shape and asked loudly. Uncle Ling Tian, do you want me to kill this universe Emperor Frieza? This kid wants to kill me. Frieza's face showed fear, and he never wanted to go back to the children's playground again. His body crawled forward little by little, slowly crawling, wanting to leave this place. Trunks, wait a minute, I can still use Frieza. Ling Tian stopped Trunks who wanted to kill Frieza. Great Elder Muli, Earth is the planet west of Namek. You can come to Earth often in the future. Solb's spaceship. Then we'll leave first. Ling Tian said goodbye to Great Elder Muli. I will definitely go to Earth if I have a chance in the future. Great Elder Muli responded with a smile. Ling Tian's figure flashed, and he grabbed Frieza and Tagma in one hand, and took Trunks and Sun Goten to perform instant teleportation. Earth. Ling Tian and others appeared on the Temple of Heaven. Ling Tian, isn't this Frieza? Why did you bring him to the temple? Dendi looked puzzled. Wasn't Frieza dead? Who resurrected him? Trunks, explained to Dendi. Ling Tian said as he picked up Frieza and Tagma and walked towards the Spirit Time Room. After wandering around the Temple of Heaven for a minute, we finally arrived at the Spirit Time Room. Ling Tian, what do you want to do? Frieza looked horrified. Did he want to seal me in this room? Ling Tian took out the storage ring. He took out a handful of senzu beans from his fingers, stuffed them into Tagma's clothes, then opened the door of the Spirit Time House and kicked the two in. That bean can heal all injuries. Ling Tian closed the door of the Spirit Time House after saying that, and sat quietly at the door. If Tagma is really a member of the Jiren clan, then this time entering the Spirit Time House will definitely be a big improvement, and it will be very interesting at the Lychee conference. King Frieza, are you okay? Tajma got up from the ground and quickly checked Frieza's injuries. Frieza was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. I was lying on the ground and couldn't move, and you still asked me if I was okay. Tajma took out a bean from his pocket and asked Frieza. King Frieza, do you want to try this bean? Frieza shouted, Tagma, do you want to kill me? Who knows what the bean Ling Tian gave him is for? He would not be so kind as to give him medicine to heal his wounds. 1 week later, Tagma was reporting the situation of the Spirit Time House to Frieza, who was lying motionless on the bed. King Frieza, there is nothing in this place except this house and a door at the back. It is white outside, and the temperature changes suddenly during the day and night. Ling Tian, what the hell is this place? In such a harsh environment, if there were no food in the room, Tagma and I would starve to death here. King Frieza, this is not a solution. Why don't you try that bean? Tagma suggested. Frieza said after thinking for a moment. Tagma, since you are so loyal to me, I need your help now. Tagma flattered him as soon as he heard that he had a chance to show off. King Frieza, just tell me what to do. I will definitely complete your task. Ho ho ho. Good, very good. Frieza's eyes glowed red, and 2 rays of light shot out of his eyes. Light eyes. Tagma had never expected that King Frieza would attack him, and he was unable to avoid it. His legs were directly pierced by the light, and he fell to the ground without being able to support his body due to his injured legs. Tagma, use that bean now and see if it works. Yes. Tagma replied reluctantly. If he didn't follow the arrangement, he would be killed in the next second, and he could only pray that the bean was not poison. Tagma took out a senzu bean from his pocket tremblingly and put it into his mouth, swallowing it without chewing it. In the blink of an eye, the injuries on Tagma's legs were completely healed, and there was no trace of the injuries just now. He stood up and said excitedly, Lord Frieza, this bean is really useful. Wow. Frieza laughed loudly and said, why don't you eat one for me quickly? When I recover, we can leave this place. The 2 of them were very happy. Tagma took out a senzu bean from his pocket and put it into Frieza's mouth. After swallowing the senzu bean, Frieza's body snapped, and the displaced bones and wounds of all sizes instantly recovered. Frieza got up from the bed and stretched his muscles, then walked towards the door of the Spirit Time House. Tagma hurriedly followed Frieza's pace. Frieza held the door handle with his hand, slowly opened the door, and walked out of the Spirit Time House. What's going on? Ling Tian looked puzzled. They came out in just half an hour. 1 hour outside is equivalent to about 15 days in the Spirit Time Chamber. Ling Tian, why are you still here? Frieza never expected Ling Tian to be guarding them at the door. Something's wrong. Ling Tian looked at Frieza and Tajma, and their strength had not changed at all. Then, Ling Tian flashed and appeared in front of the 2 in an instant, punching and kicking them, beating them half to death, and throwing them into the Spirit Time Chamber. What the hell is this Ling Tian doing? Frieza and Tajma recovered after eating the senzu beans. Frieza was furious and wanted to open the door and go out again. King Frieza, wait a minute. Tajma suddenly stopped Frieza. What's wrong? Frieza looked puzzled. Did Tajma not want to leave this place? Tajma said after thinking for a moment. Lord Frieza, Ling Tian must still be waiting for us at the door. Why don't we practice here? With your amazing talent, your strength will definitely increase if you practice. Frieza put down his hand that was about to open the door and turned to Tagma. Tagma, you are very good. In this case, then you can be my opponent and practice with me. Half a year later. Wow. Frieza laughed out loud. He finally mastered the transformation of the golden form. Then he turned to Tagma, who was bruised and swollen. Tagma, we should go out. Swish. The 2 figures flashed and appeared in front of the door of the Spirit Time House. To be on the safe side, I didn't choose to leave when I just broke through. Now that I have fully mastered the golden form, I will definitely be able to defeat Ling Tian and leave this place. Frieza said in his heart. Click. The door of the Spirit Time House was slowly opened. Ling Tian, who was dozing at the door of the Spirit Time House, was suddenly awakened. He looked up at the clock above the door and found that half a day had passed. It seemed that Frieza and Tajma had been practicing in there for half a year. Ling Tian yawned and said, Frieza, why don't you continue to practice? Why did you come out so early? Ho ho ho. Of course I came out to punish you. Ha. Frieza shouted loudly, his breath continued to strengthen, and golden light emerged from his body. The dazzling light forced Ling Tian to close his eyes. The light dissipated, and Frieza's originally white skin turned golden yellow. Frieza successfully transformed into Golden Frieza. This 24K pure gold should be able to sell for a lot of money. Ling Tian muttered to himself. Ling Tian, you are looking for death. Frieza's figure flashed and appeared in front of Ling Tian, waving his fist and hitting Ling Tian's head. Hey! Ling Tian blew Frieza away with a burst of energy. When the light faded, Ling Tian's hair turned red and draped over his shoulders. His chest and palms were covered with red hair, and there was a long red tail behind him. Ling Tian, who transformed into Super Saiyan 4, did not hesitate at all and appeared in front of Frieza in an instant. Bang! 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 Frieza was like a sandbag, being beaten by Ling Tian. How is it possible? Frieza couldn't believe that his golden form didn't even have the ability to resist. Pa! Ling Tian stretched out his big hand and grabbed Frieza's head, carrying Frieza to the door of the Spirit Time House again. Tagma, why don't you come here quickly? Yes, yes, yes. Tagma didn't want to be beaten, so he rolled and crawled to the door of the Spirit Time House. Ling Tian took out a jar of senzu beans from the storage ring and stuffed it into Tagma's arms. You two should practice hard in there, Ling Tian said as he opened the door and kicked the two back in. Frieza can transform into a golden form. The state is also expected, but the basic combat power is too low, and the transformation has not played a big role. Quote, King Frieza. Tagma helped Frieza, who fell to the ground. Frieza stood there motionless. How could this happen? He only stayed in heaven for more than 10 years, and the Saiyans became so powerful. Tagma said hesitantly, King Frieza, that Ling Tian gave us a jar of beans and let us practice here. How can you look down on me like this? Frieza roared and kicked Tagma. Ah! Tagma screamed and flew backwards. King Frieza, why are you hitting me? I don't look down on you. Tagma felt very wronged. Frieza looked at the jar on the ground and then ran to practice. Ling Tian, I will make you pay the price after I finish practicing. 5 years later, all the food in the Spirit Time House was eaten by Frieza and Tagma, and the jar was empty without a single senzu bean. Lord Frieza, we have all made great progress this time, and you have also comprehended a new transformation. We will definitely be able to take revenge, Tagma said. Frieza nodded and didn't say much. He always had an ominous premonition. The two of them immediately took off and flew towards the door of the Spirit Time House. Why is the door gone? Frieza and Tagma were confused. How can they get out if the door is gone? Lord Frieza, we won't stay here forever. Tagma's face was very ugly. I don't want to stay in this place. Hee. Quote, Frieza shouted and released all his aura. A dazzling golden light flashed, and Frieza transformed into Golden Frieza. However, after Frieza transformed into Golden Frieza, he did not intend to stop, and his aura increased again. Lightning bolts fell from the sky and struck Frieza's surroundings. Frieza's golden skin slowly turned into silver white, and 2 silver white horns grew symmetrically on his shoulders, and his aura continued to increase. A dazzling light flashed, and Golden Frieza transformed into Platinum Frieza. Then, Frieza raised his right hand and condensed an energy to blast forward. Boom! The Spirit Time House vibrated violently, and a huge crack appeared in front of Frieza. Tagma, let's go. Frieza and Tagma left the Spirit Time House through the crack. Oh, quote, Frieza was a little surprised. He didn't expect Ling Tian to be waiting for him in Tagma. Ling Tian's figure flashed, grabbed Frieza and Tagma's shoulders, and performed instant movement. In the universe, on an unknown planet, Frieza looked at this strange environment, realized that he had left the Earth, and then said with a smile. Ling Tian, is this the grave you found for yourself? Frieza is now full of confidence. He can definitely control Ling Tian in this form. Hee. Ling Tian roared, his aura continued to increase, violent energy continued to surge, and lightning fell from the sky and struck all around. I saw that Ling Tian's hair turned silver white, slowly growing to the waist. His chest and palms were covered with silver white hair, and there was a long silver white tail behind him. A dazzling white light flashed, and Ling Tian transformed into Super Saiyan 5. The young man was very happy. With the blessing of the super blood, Ling Tian's height increased dramatically, and he looked at Frieza like a child. Ling Tian said to Frieza from a high position, "Frieza, do you think you are good again? My form is not comparable to the golden form. Give me your life." Frieza raised his right hand and condensed the energy on his index finger, and fired a red beam, attacking Ling Tian. Death Beam. Frieza, don't be angry. I won't look down on you like this in the future. Ling Tian didn't care about the incoming beam, and he slapped the beam and was slapped away. Frieza was furious. He could have realized his wish to grow taller on Namek, but it was that bald guy from Earth who prevented him from realizing his wish. Now he is still being laughed at. Ah! Frieza shouted, his aura increased again, and he quickly attacked Ling Tian. Bang! 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 The two of them immediately started a fierce battle, and loud noises were heard in the air. Lord Frieza, I'll help you. Tagma shouted, releasing all his aura, and was wrapped in a red flame, and then rushed towards Ling Tian. Oh, Ling Tian was stunned. This Tagma's talent was indeed extraordinary. He didn't expect that after training in the Spirit Time Chamber for 5 years, his strength was almost the same as Trunks' Super Saiyan Red. Tagma's figure flashed, and he appeared behind Ling Tian, waving his fist and blasting at him. However, in the eyes of Ling Tian, who was firing at full power, Tagma's amazing speed was no different from that of ordinary people. Suddenly, Ling Tian seemed to think of something fun. He looked at Frieza rushing towards him with a slight smile on his face, and then he used teleportation. With a bang, Tagma punched Frieza. Frieza slapped Tagma's shiny bald head and said angrily, "Tagma, do you want to murder me?" Tagma looked flustered and began to argue. "No, King Frieza." Ling Tian suddenly disappeared, "and I didn't expect you to." Ha ha ha. Ling Tian laughed while holding his stomach. Frieza raised his right hand high, and his abilities continued to gather together to form a huge red energy ball, which exuded an extremely hot breath. Supernova. Frieza shouted and threw the condensed energy bomb to Ling Tian. When the energy bomb was only tens of meters away from Ling Tian, Shua, a stream of colorful light fell in front of Ling Tian. The man holding the staff said in surprise, "Oh my, this way of welcoming is not good." HMPH. A purple cat snorted coldly and kicked the energy bomb away. Boom! With a violent explosion, the supernova exploded in the universe. The people who came were Beerus and Whis. Frieza grabbed Tagma and flew to Beerus's position. "Lord Beerus, you must make the decision for me." As soon as Frieza saw Beerus, he started his best-selling performance, crying that he had been diligently destroying the planet, but he didn't expect to be killed by the Saiyans. He had just been resurrected and was locked in a room by Ling Tian. He wanted to use Beerus's hand to destroy all the Saiyans. "Oh, are you Frieza?" Beerus was puzzled. Frieza didn't look like this before. And his strength is not that strong. "Lord Beerus, I am Frieza. This is just a transformation of mine," Frieza explained. Beerus waved his hand and said, "Frieza, you don't have to worry about the Saiyans, and you don't have to hunt down the remaining Saiyans." Ah! Frieza couldn't believe that he had worked diligently for decades, but Beerus didn't stand up for him. Beerus scolded loudly. "Ah, what? Did you hear that?" "Okay, Lord Beerus," Frieza responded with a hypocritical smile. "Whis, what do you want?" Ling Tian looked puzzled. If these two people wanted to eat, they could just go to Earth. Ahem. Whis, tell them. Beerus himself couldn't bring himself to ask Ling Tian for help. If Ling Tian and the others were weaker, they would be able to help him. "I can still use force to intimidate, now." "Okay, Lord Beerus." Whis nodded with a smile, and then said to Ling Tian and others, "Lord Shangpa, the god of destruction of the 6th universe, I don't know where he got the news that Lord Beerus has awakened, and now he wants the 2 universes to have a competition." "Lord Beerus, what's the benefit of this competition?" Frieza didn't know what he was thinking. Whis smiled and said, "Mr. Frieza, the winner of this competition can get 7 wishing beads, and the wishing beads can make any wish come true." "Lord Beerus, my subordinate and I will also participate in this competition." Frieza has fallen into endless fantasy. He won the competition and wished to Shenlong to grow 20 centimeters taller. "No, I want to grow 30 centimeters taller. With this height, I will also mock Sun Wukong and Vegeta." Beerus turned his head and looked at Tajma, and found that this person's strength was quite good, and then said, "You two can participate. Ling Tian, call Wukong and the others to make a total of 10 people." Isn't it that one universe sent 5 players? How did it become 10 players from one universe? Ling Tian muttered to himself, very confused. Oh. Whis was a little shocked. Where did Ling Tian get the news that the 2 universes sent 5 people to fight each other before? Beerus said indifferently, originally, one universe sent 5 players to compete. When Shangpa was looking for people, he found that there were many powerful humans in their universe. He didn't know how to choose for a while, so he changed it to one universe sending 10 players. Ling Tian, you are already so strong. No matter how many people he sends, I will kill them all in 1 second. Beerus didn't believe that Shangpa's universe had people as strong as Ling Tian and the others. Ling Tian was very excited. He didn't meet Shangpa House last time. He will definitely be there for the competition this time. He and Brawly can finally get revenge. Beerus, when will the competition be held? Goku and the others are not on Earth now. I have to go pick them up first. Beerus didn't care how Ling Tian called him. He yawned and said, 3 days later, Whis and I will go to Bulma's house on Earth. We will take you to the competition site then. Okay. Ling Tian nodded in response. After informing Ling Tian and others of the news, Whis and Beerus turned into a stream of light and flew towards the Destroyer God realm. Ling Tian waved his hand and a dimensional wall appeared in front of the 3 people. Frieza, do you want to come with me? I'm not afraid of you. Now that he has qualified for the competition, Frieza doesn't believe that Ling Tian dares to attack him. After Frieza and Tajma looked at each other, they also walked into the dimensional wall. The Dragon God realm. Ling Tian, Frieza and Tajma came out of the dimensional wall and saw a huge palace. Frieza, you two wait here for me first, don't run around, I won't be responsible if something happens. Ling Tian said and performed instant movement. After Ling Tian left, Frieza and Tajma observed the situation around them. King Frieza, only this luxurious palace can match your identity and status. Tajma had a small idea and wanted to occupy this palace with Frieza. Ho ho ho, Tagma, you are absolutely right. Frieza laughed loudly. This place belongs to me, Frieza, from now on. Swoosh, accompanied by a sound of breaking wind, Long Yi flew out of the palace. Long Yi was a little confused. He had just sensed Ling Tian's aura. Where did he go? Tagma saw someone coming and had another chance to show off, so he flattered Frieza. Hey, that kid with a dragon head, come and pay your respects to King Frieza. King Frieza will be the master of this place from now on. Tagma never thought that just because of his words, he and Frieza almost went to see the King of Hell. You are so outspoken, you deserve to be beaten. Long Yi's figure flashed and appeared in front of the two. How is it possible? Frieza was shocked. He hadn't exited the platinum form yet, so how could he not see the other party's movements clearly? Then an ominous premonition came to his mind. He was doomed. He was going to be killed by Tajma. Frieza and Tajma had no ability to resist and could only scream. In the blink of an eye, the two of them collapsed to the ground with injuries all over their bodies. Frieza and Tajma showed fear on their faces. This person controlled the strength of his attack very well. Every punch he threw at them felt like he was about to die, but after hundreds of punches, he still felt the same. You don't think this is the end, do you? Long Yi showed an evil smile on his face. What do you mean? Frieza and Tajma were stunned by Long Yi's question. Long Yi waved his hand, and Frieza and Tajma's injuries were instantly healed. Lord Frieza, we are fully recovered. Tagma said excitedly. Something is wrong. Before Frieza could speak, Long Yi punched and kicked the two again. This man is simply a demon. Swish. Ling Tian performed instant teleportation and appeared in front of Sun Wukong and others. Wukong, you guys quickly get rid of the evil dragon. I have something to do with you. Okay. Everyone nodded, gathered energy in their hands, released their own special moves, and eliminated the remaining evil dragons. The 7 restored dragon balls resonated with each other, a golden light flashed, and a golden dragon appeared in the air. The dragon did not speak, but flew towards the location of the Dragon God Realm Palace. Uncle Ling Tian, did something happen on Earth? Sun Wuhan asked. Gohan, Nothing happened to the earth. Just now, the god of destruction Beerus asked me to participate in the martial arts competition held by the 6th and 7th universes. The 2 universes will send 10 players to participate in the competition. Beerus asked me to invite you to participate together. Ling Tian explained. Ling Tian, will there be many strong people from the 6th universe participating? Sun Wukong looked excited. How could he be missing where there is a battle? Ling Tian said with a weird smile on his face. I don't know if there are strong people, but the fat cat should appear at the competition site. We can avenge Brawly. Everyone said angrily when they heard it. He was lucky not to meet that fat cat last time, we can't let him get away this time. I must beat him so hard that he can't even recognize him. I want to avenge Uncle Brawly too. Okay, you listen to my arrangements when the time comes. Let's go back to the Dragon God Realm Palace first, there are 2 people waiting for us there. After Ling Tian finished speaking, he took Brawly, Cell, Paragus, Son Goku, Piccolo, Son Gohan and Vegeta to perform teleportation. Dragon God Realm Palace. Swish. Ling Tian and others. People appeared beside Long Yi. Before Ling Tian could speak, 2 people on the ground, with bruises on their noses and faces, covered with wounds, and beaten so hard that they could not see what they looked like, said excitedly. Ling Tian, you are finally back. Take us away from here quickly. Long Yi, why are they like this? Ling Tian was puzzled. Did these 2 people make trouble in the Dragon God Realm? Why are they so brave? They wanted to occupy the Dragon God Realm, but I beat them up. Long Yi explained. Frieza and Tajima felt very aggrieved. Did you beat them up? I don't know how many times you have restored them. It's all tears to talk too much. We won't dare to do it again. Let us go. Tajima almost cried out. I'll let you go this time. Long Yi waved his hand, and Frieza and Tajima's injuries were instantly restored. Thank you. Frieza and Tajima bowed to thank him. I will never come to this place again. Long Yi, can you make a cloak that people cannot detect? Ling Tian asked. Long Yi said after thinking for a moment. Yes, it is possible, but you have to make it so that no one can detect it. If you are stronger than me, you can only ask Lord Salama to make it. Long Yi, just make 10 black cloaks for me. Ling Tian does not believe that the angel's strength will be stronger than Salama's guards. Okay. Long Yi waved his hand, and a golden light appeared on the ground. 1 minute later, 10 black cloaks overlapped neatly. Long Yi, you helped me a lot this time. Ling Tian walked over excitedly and put the cloak into the storage ring. It's just a piece of cake. Long Yi also smiled, and he was very happy to help Ling Tian. Ling Tian, do you want to meet Lord Sarama? Long Yi, forget it this time. We'll be back soon. Let's talk about it next time. Long Yi nodded. Ling Tian waved his hand, and a dimensional wall appeared in front of everyone. As soon as the dimensional wall appeared, Frieza and Tajima rushed in. Long Yi, goodbye. Sun Wukong and others waved goodbye and walked towards the dimensional wall. The 7th universe. Ling Tian, Brawly, Cell, Paragus, Sun Wukong, Sun Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza and Tajima passed through the dimensional wall and appeared on Bowsy Mountain on Earth. Frieza pointed at Ling Tian angrily and shouted. Ling Tian, I knew you had bad intentions. You actually took us to that kind of place. Ling Tian didn't care and responded with a smile. Frieza, I reminded you not to cause trouble, you can't blame me. Frieza, is this person Frieza? Sun Wukong and others were confused. Frieza didn't look like this before. This change is too big. The 2 of them were so excited that they were so excited. Wow, Frieza said with a smile. Sun Wukong, are you shocked by my strength? Ling Tian immediately explained to everyone. Frieza was resurrected a few days ago. I threw him into the spirit time chamber to practice for 5 years. How is it possible? Vegeta was shocked. This Frieza became so strong after 5 years of practice. Frieza said with an endless smile on his face. Vegeta, now you know my talent, right? Do you want to consider being my subordinate again? Who gave you the courage to say such a thing, Frieza? Vegeta shouted, releasing all his aura. A blue aura appeared on his body, his black hair gradually turned blue, and a sacred aura enveloped Vegeta's whole body. A dazzling light flashed, and Vegeta successfully transformed into Super Saiyan Blue, with blue hair fluttering in the wind. How is it possible? Frieza was shocked. He originally thought that only Ling Tian was more powerful. How come these Saiyan monkeys have also comprehended so many transformations, and each one is so powerful? The system checks everyone's combat power. Ding. Ling Tian. 162Z. Bloodline. Earthling, Legendary Saiyan. Brawly. 13Z. Bloodline. Legendary Saiyan. Cell. 7746 Ga. Bloodline. Artificial Human. Sun Wukong. 3473 Gai. Bloodline. Saiyan. Sun Wuhan. 3521 Gai. Bloodline. Saiyan Hybrid. Vegeta. 3464 Gai. Bloodline. Saiyan. Piccolo. 2870 Gai. Bloodline. Namekian. Paragus. 2982 Gai. Bloodline. Saiyan. Frieza. 7 Gai. Bloodline. Frozen Devil. Tagore. 8865 Kyo. Bloodline. Jiren's Hybrid. Frieza is really something. The combat power soared from billions to 7 Gai. What shocked Ling Tian the most was Tagore. The combat power of Jiren's Hybrid soared from tens of thousands to 8865 Kyo. Such a good talent is really wasted. I have been doing odd jobs in Frieza's third star field before. Vegeta, what's there to fight between you and Frieza? You should go home and have a good rest. There will be plenty of opponents for you to fight in 3 days. Ling Tian stopped the two from fighting. HMPH. Vegeta snorted coldly and teleported away. Wukong, you can just gather at Bulma's house in 3 days. Sun Wukong and others nodded. Ling Tian took Brawly, Cell and Paragus and prepared to teleport back to the island. Suddenly, Ling Tian seemed to think of something and turned his head to Frieza, who was standing stupidly. Frieza, you're just staying here. Frieza was about to follow when he was pulled by Tejma. Tejma whispered in Frieza's ear. King Frieza, be careful. What if he takes us to that kind of place again? Frieza's face changed when he heard it, and he said with forced calmness. Ling Tian, you guys go by yourself. Tejma and I will stay here for 3 days. Don't worry, we won't destroy the earth. Ling Tian stopped caring about Frieza after hearing this, and then used teleportation to return to the island. The few people started their leisurely life every day, fishing, swimming. 3 days later, on the balcony of Bulma's house, Ling Tian, half lying on the chair, said with a smile. Frieza, I didn't expect you really didn't make trouble on the earth. Wow, Frieza said proudly. Of course, I am the most honest person in the universe. I don't know who leaked the news of the game. Yamcha, Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi, Krillin's family, came, and others all came to Bulma's house. Ling Tian, we are all here to cheer for you. I believe you will win the game. Ah, Ling Tian sighed, not knowing what to do. It would be fine to bring Yamcha and his group to a normal game. But this game is special. He will fight with Fat Cat soon and won't be able to take care of Yamcha and his group at all. Swish. Suddenly, a colorful stream of light fell in front of everyone. The people who came were Beerus and Whis. Ling Tian, have you gathered all 10 contestants? Ling Tian pointed to the people sitting beside him and said. How is this lineup? Good. Very good. Beerus laughed. With such a luxurious lineup, how could he lose? The participants were Ling Tian, Brawly, Cell, Paragus, Son Goku, Son Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza and Togama. At this moment, Trunks and Son Goten hurried out of the room. Uncle Ling Tian, Goten and I also want to participate in the competition. Uncle Ling Tian, I want to see what people from other universes look like. Beerus seemed to have thought of something. How could no one watch the competition? This time, we must embarrass that guy Champa. Then he said. The contestants are full, kids. If you want to watch the game, you can go with us. Upon hearing this, Whis took out his staff and waved it, and a rectangular transparent cube appeared in front of everyone. Those who want to watch the game, enter the shuttle cube, I will take you there. Whis, wait a minute. Ling Tian suddenly called Whis. Ling Tian, what's wrong? Whis turned his head and looked at Ling Tian with a puzzled look. Ling Tian asked with a serious face. Whis, will you protect them? Hearing Ling Tian's words, Sun Wukong and others remembered that this battle would definitely be the same as the last battle with Beerus. Wouldn't it be dangerous for Krillin and others to watch the game? Sun Wukong walked over and touched Krillin's head. It felt better when he was bald before. No, what am I thinking about? Then he shook his head and said, Krillin, why don't you go to watch the game this time? Krillin looked at Sun Wukong's worried expression and hesitated. Weiss thought for a long time and didn't understand what Ling Tian meant. Can't I, an angel, withstand the aftermath of your fight? Then he said with a smile. Ling Tian, don't worry, I will protect them. Ling Tian nodded to Sun Wukong. He believed that Weiss would not lie to him. Beerus looked at everyone who was dithering and yelled in dissatisfaction. What the hell are you guys doing? You're treating a competition like a life and death separation. Hurry up and get into the shuttle cube. Everyone nodded and walked towards the shuttle cube. Weiss, let's go. Weiss smiled and nodded, the staff in his hand shone with a green light, and then controlled the shuttle cube to fly into the universe. In the blink of an eye, everyone left the Earth and appeared in the universe. Everyone looked at the starry sky outside and couldn't help but fall into intoxication. It's so beautiful. Bulma's eyes lit up. This cube is countless times faster than a spaceship, and it is transparent. It is perfect for viewing the scenery in the universe. Then she asked Weiss beside her. Weiss, can you give me a cube like this? Miss Bulma, this is a vehicle for God, and it can't be given away casually. Weiss responded. Okay then. Bulma looked like a child who didn't get a toy, with a wronged look on her face. Vegeta hugged Bulma and comforted her. Bulma, I will definitely find an identical cube for you. Don't you see there are so many people here? Bulma's face flushed, and she pushed Vegeta away. Ha ha ha, everyone laughed. The old man was very happy. Suddenly, Ling Tian seemed to have thought of something, and quickly took out 8 black cloaks from the storage ring and distributed them to Sun Wukong and others. Everyone took the cloaks and put them on. It seems that their identities were discovered when they went to the 6th universe last time. Ling Tian, don't you have 10 cloaks? Why don't Tajima and I have them? Frieza looked puzzled. How can such a treasure be given to you, Frieza? We can't find you when you do bad things without detecting your breath. You two don't need it. Frieza muttered to himself. This Ling Tian thought he had his own share of the 10 cloaks prepared before. Oh, Beerus and Whis were very surprised. As soon as they put on the cloak, the aura on their bodies disappeared completely. They couldn't see who was inside. For a moment, they couldn't tell Ling Tian and others apart. You guys are not brave enough to see people after a competition. Beerus looked puzzled. I'm not afraid to see people. I just don't want to be discovered by Champa. Ling Tian said in his heart. Whis suddenly regretted agreeing to protect Yamcha and his group with Ling Tian. The moment he saw everyone put on the cloak, he knew that something bad must be wrong. After everyone shuttled through the universe for more than 10 minutes. We're here. After hearing Whis' words, everyone turned their heads to look. They saw 6 Dragon Balls as big as planets surrounding each other. In the center was a brown Earth planet with no signs of life. Huge pits and bumps were all over the surface of the planet. Is that a Dragon Ball? This Dragon Ball is so big. It's like a planet. There are only 6 Dragon Balls. Where did the other one go? Whis explained to everyone immediately. This is a Super Dragon Ball. It's different from the Dragon Balls on Namek and Earth. This one has a very strong ability to fulfill wishes. Swish. Whis controlled the shuttle cube and landed on the Earth-brown planet in the middle. Wow, what a big arena. After landing, Ling Tian and others saw a huge arena placed in an energy light shield, whose area was dozens of times that of the arena of the world's first martial arts tournament. On the left and right sides of the arena, there were giant signs with the images of Beerus and Champa, and there were also audience seats made of stones around. Skinny ribs, I thought you were scared and didn't dare to come. A purple fat cat taunted. Dead fat pig, just wait to lose the game. Beerus roared loudly. The two became more and more angry and started fighting directly. Lord Beerus. Whis stepped forward and stopped Beerus. Lord Champa. Vados also stopped Champa from continuing to attack. Brawly looked at the fat cat, and the violent energy on his body continued to surge, and he slowly walked towards Champa. Ling Tian's figure flashed, and he grabbed Brawly's shoulder and said, Brawly, don't worry, you listen to my arrangements, he will be in trouble soon. Brawly dissipated the energy on his body and calmed down. Soon everyone was brought to the audience by Whis. No way, we come to watch the game and sit in this kind of seats. Bang bang hard stone slabs, whoever wants to sit can sit. Bulma said and was about to take out the universal capsule. Beerus got angry when he heard it. Only dead fat pigs have such low taste. Whis understood, took out the staff and waved. The audience seats directly disappeared. As Whis waved the staff again, semicircular audience seats full of haystacks appeared in front of everyone. Shangpa heard the discussion and felt that he had lost all his face. Then he said dissatisfiedly, "Bados, why didn't you make that kind of seat at the beginning?" Bados covered his mouth and laughed. "Lord Shangpa, when I first made it, weren't you very satisfied?" Swish. Just then, the Kai of the 6th universe and the Kai of the 7th universe suddenly appeared on the scene. Old Lord Kai, this way. Sun Wukong, wearing a cloak, waved his hands and shouted loudly. Old Kai and Fuwa, the 6th universe Kai, greeted and flew towards Sun Wukong's position. "Wukong, what are you doing? Why are you all wearing the same cloak?" Old Kai judged everyone through Sun Wukong's voice. "Nothing." Sun Wukong would not disrupt Ling Tian's plan. Beerus scratched his ears. "Lazy. Shangpa, are your people here?" "Of course." Shangpa pointed at the people in the audience of the 6th universe and taunted. "See, you still have time to admit defeat now. Just give me the Earth of the 7th universe, and you won't lose face. Lord Beerus, if you lose the game, the Earth will be given to that fat cat." "Why didn't you tell us before?" Beerus looked at the angry Son Goku and others, waved his hand and said. "Don't you believe in your own strength? Don't waste the free Super Dragon Ball." "Ha ha ha, skinny ribs, you are bragging again." Shangpa covered his stomach and laughed. Son Gohan pointed at the audience of the 6th universe and said in surprise. "Uncle Vegeta, look over there." Who shocked Gohan so much? Everyone turned their heads to look at the audience of the 6th universe. It turns out to be the cab we met in Universe 6. "Look, that guy looks exactly like Frieza, and he's not a good guy." Krillin whispered in Yamcha's ear. "It seems that Frieza has cast a big shadow on Krillin." Frost. "Humph, a bunch of ignorant people. He is the spokesperson for justice in Universe 6, has won the Universe Peace Prize many times, and has helped countless homeless people." Shangpa said coldly, looked down on Krillin and others, and said lightly. "Spokesperson for justice, Universe Peace Prize." When these words came out, everyone present was stunned. It was unbelievable that someone who looked so similar to Frieza could be a good person. Sun Wukong turned his head and said to Frieza, "Frieza, it seems that you still need to learn from that Frost. Don't do bad things again in the future." Ho ho ho. Frieza didn't say much, just kept laughing. "That man is going to die. King Frieza will definitely beat him to death." Tagma said in his heart, "No good will come from King Frieza's smile." Okay, dead fat pig, start the game quickly." Beerus looked impatient. "Who would care what happened in your universe? You keep talking about this and that. If I don't play, I might as well go back to Earth and enjoy the food." Skinny ribs, just wait to lose this game. Changpa was very satisfied with the person he had been looking for in the universe these days, and then waved his hand. The host understood and appeared on the stage with a microphone. "Welcome everyone to participate in the martial arts competition jointly held by the 6th and 7th universes. Let me explain the rules of the competition to you. This competition adopts a round-robin format. As long as you defeat your opponent, you can fight the next opponent until all 10 players on one side are eliminated. You cannot use weapons during the battle. Falling outside the ring or being unable to fight will result in elimination. There is no time limit for the competition. The contestants of the 6th universe are Hit, Botomo, Wataru Magata, Frost, Gabe, Caulifla, Kale, King Shadara, Rogue, and Gaia. The contestants of the 7th universe are Ling Tian, Brawly, Cell, Paragus, Son Goku, Son Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Frieza, and Togama. Both sides decide the order of appearance in this competition. The two of them were so excited that they had to fight. Oh, Ling Tian was shocked. He didn't expect that there would be 6 Saiyans from the 6th universe, and even the king of the planet Shadara came. "Why don't you let me go first?" Sun Wukong was very excited and couldn't help wanting to go up and fight. "Kakarot, let me go first." Vegeta grabbed Sun Wukong, who wanted to fly to the ring. Although he didn't know how strong the opponent was, if Kakarot beat 10 of them, then he would have come here in vain, and he also wanted to see the results of Gabe's training in the past few years. Ling Tian looked at the two people who had been competing for the order of appearance and said lightly, Goku, Vegeta, stop fighting. Let Togama go first. Don't forget we have other things to do. Sun Wukong and Vegeta nodded and sat down again. Frieza took a glass of red wine from somewhere and shook it in his hand. Togama, don't embarrass me. Lord Frieza, you can trust me to do it. Look, I'll kill 10 people. Togama's figure flashed and appeared on the ring in an instant. Changpa pointed at a golden bear and said, Go on. Yes, Lord Changpa. Botamuo stood in the audience and jumped forward, appearing in the center of the ring. This idiot, look at how cool the opponent is. Changpa covered his face and couldn't bear to look. Both players have entered the ring, so the first game starts now. The host said as he walked down the ring, fearing that the battle would affect him. Tagma and Botamo stood opposite each other. Your name is Botamo, right? Are you ready? Tagma asked with a false smile. Of course. Swish. Tagma flashed and instantly appeared in front of Botamo, waving his fist and punching him. Facing Tagma's fist, Botamo didn't care and let it hit him. Tagma's powerful fist hit Botamo like hitting cotton, with no place to use his strength. Botamo didn't move at all, with a smile on his face and mocking, Didn't you eat? Da da da. Tagma waved his fist and continued to attack Botamo, and the wind from his fist raised a large piece of sand and dust, covering the entire ring. When the smoke dissipated, Botamo's body had not retreated half a step, while Tagma was panting heavily with an unbelievable look on his face. Everyone present could clearly feel the strength of Tagma's attack just now. Shangpa thought his general was going to lose this game, but he didn't expect that Botamo was not hurt at all. Then he laughed and turned his head to mock Beerus. Ha ha ha, are you people in the 7th universe just like this? Are you tickling us people in the 6th universe? Tagma was a little confused. He had never heard of such a bizarre thing when he was in the Frieza army, so he asked Botamo. What's wrong with your body? Why are my attacks useless? Botamo smiled lightly and said with some pride, My body is the most flexible in the universe. It can ignore any attack. You can't beat me. Frieza directly crushed the red wine glass in his hand into pieces and shouted in dissatisfaction. Tagma, what are you doing? No matter what kind of body he has, just hit him with all your strength. If this happens again, you will be in trouble. Tagma turned his head and found that Frieza was furious, so he comforted him. King Frieza, I promise this is the last time. Beerus, are the people in your universe joking? Champa laughed when he saw that the people in the 7th universe were actually fighting among themselves. You dare to laugh at King Frieza, unforgivable. Tagma shouted and released all his breath, and the whole planet was shaking. Tagma was wrapped in red flames, and the breath continued to rise and spread around. Whis and Bardos took out their staffs and waved them to resist the breath. How is it possible? Everyone in the 6th universe was shocked, and they couldn't believe that a little brother of a person could be so powerful. Botamuo couldn't resist the breath of Tagma at all, and his body slid backwards uncontrollably. No, Bodamo was blown away by the breath and fell on the ring. Outside, I lost. Shangpa was in a very low mood. He thought that Bottom had an invincible body and could defeat several opponents in a row. He didn't expect that he was a useless waste. Then, he turned his head to Frost, who looked like Frieza, and said, Go and teach those guys in the 7th universe a lesson. Frost bent slightly and said very gentlemanly, I am very happy to serve. In fact, Frost had already cursed Shangpa's ancestors in his heart. Do you think I can beat that guy? I saw that Frieza had bad intentions towards me long ago. This time I will definitely be beaten up. Go, why are you standing here stupidly? Shangpa urged the ambassador of universal peace. Yes, Lord Shangpa. Frost took off and flew towards the ring. Seeing Togama at full fire, Frost's body couldn't help trembling. For the sake of his image as a cosmic peace ambassador, Frost still bent his body slightly, made a very gentlemanly gesture, and then said with a smile. Next, I will be your opponent. Please teach me, Mr. Togama. Oh, your name is Frost, right? You really look very similar to King Frieza. Hurry up and transform. Togama seemed polite, but in fact, he was thinking in his heart how to punish you later. I was always beaten by King Frieza during training. You, the low-power version of Frieza, are just right for me to satisfy my desire to touch. Ha! Frost shouted loudly, releasing all his breath, and his body was wrapped in a purple light. When the light dissipated, Frost was completely changed. His muscles swelled up, and 2 pairs of horns grew symmetrically on his long head, and he had an ugly sausage mouth. That disgusting face really wanted to go up and beat him up. Frost chuckled and said to Tagma, "This is my final form, let's do it." Tagma shook his head helplessly. "I gave you a chance but you didn't cherish it. If that's the case." Tagma's figure flashed and instantly appeared in front of Frost, punching him in the abdomen. "Ah!" Frost screamed and flew backwards. Tagma hurriedly chased after him and punched and kicked Frost. "Ah! Ah!" Frost had no ability to resist and could only scream. Whenever Frost was about to fly out of the ring, he would be grabbed by Tagma and thrown back to the center of the ring. What the hell is this Tagma doing? He beat someone so hard that the corners of his mouth were about to crack to his ears. Frieza was very confused. Does this Frieza really not understand, or is he pretending not to understand? Ling Tian watched with relish. The battle was won. Vados looked at Frost, who was beaten without any ability to fight back, and said to Champa aggrievedly, "Lord Champa, it seems that Frost is not Tagma's opponent. We are afraid that we will lose again this time. The opponent's strength is too strong. Where did Beerus find such a powerful human?" Champa's face was very ugly. One of the players he carefully selected from the universe was blown away by the breath, and the other was turned into a sandbag. "Tagma, how can you treat our peace ambassador of the 6th universe like this?" Gabe roared dissatisfiedly. "You can't blame me for this. He didn't fall off the ring, and he didn't admit defeat." Tagma didn't forget to beat Frost while explaining. Originally, Frost was going to let Tagma knock him out directly, but now he has been beating me for several minutes and still has no intention of stopping. "You forced me to do it." 2 poisonous needles suddenly appeared on Frost's right hand and tail, and stabbed at Tagma, who was attacking him. "Ha! You dared to sneak attack me with a hidden weapon." Tagma was furious and gave Frost a big bet with his backhand. "How is it possible?" Frost covered his slightly swollen face with one hand and couldn't believe that my hidden weapon that worked every time couldn't even pierce his body. Tagma kicked Frost and mocked him. "I train with King Frieza every day. Now my body is harder than steel. Of course, your little hidden weapon is useless to me. If I didn't want to beat you up, I would have killed you in one move." "What?" Tagma's voice reached the ears of everyone present, and everyone's face changed. "Boy, you dare to slander our universe's peace ambassador. Be careful or I will destroy you," Champa said to Tagma with a gloomy face. Tagma ignored Champa and gave Frost another big bag, then kicked him towards the host. "This feeling is so good, I really want to slap him a few more times," Tagma said in his heart. The host hurriedly went up to check. Frost has hidden weapons on his right hand and tail. Everyone showed an incredible expression when they heard this. They really didn't expect a peace ambassador to do such a thing. Could it be that Frost is a hypocritical person? Champa clenched his fists and shouted at Frost angrily. "Why don't you get over here quickly?" Frost looked at the furious Champa and quickly started his best actor-level performance. Frost appeared in front of Champa with his wounded body, and said respectfully with a slight bend, "Lord Champa, I am doing this for our 6th universe to win the game." Champa kicked Frost and yelled, "Waste, you are such a waste. You can't beat others even with hidden weapons." Beerus condensed a purple energy ball in his hand, staring fiercely at the contestants of the 6th universe. "If anyone dares to use weapons again, don't blame me." Quote. The second game will be won by the contestant Tagma from the 7th universe. Please send the next contestant from the 6th universe as soon as possible, the host said loudly on the stage. As soon as the voice fell, a Saiyan in the audience of the 6th universe suddenly stood up and appeared on the stage in an instant. "Rog, come on." Gabe cheered for Rog on the stage. Knowing that the opponent in front of him was very powerful, Rogue used his strongest transformation without any reservation. A dazzling light flashed, and Rogue's hair turned golden to his waist, and his body was wrapped in golden flames and small arcs. "You are very good, but this strength is not enough." The next moment, the 2 figures flashed and launched a fierce attack on each other. Bang, bang, bang. "Uncle Ling Tian, it's Super Saiyan 3. Son Gohan exclaimed. Ling Tian nodded. He didn't expect that Vegeta taught Gabe a transformation, and even the Saiyans of the same race could transform into Super Saiyan 3. The transformation method of the Super Saiyan God was not taught to them. It seems that they can't transform into Super Saiyan 4 without growing tails. Soon, Tejma and Rogue fought from the ring to the air. Rogue's figure flashed and appeared behind Tejma. He condensed a Qigong wave in his hand and blasted it towards Tejma. Boom! Tejma was hit by the Qigong wave in front of him before he could avoid it, and thick smoke billowed out from the explosion. Great hit! The audience of the 6th universe cheered. However, things did not go as they expected. The smoke dissipated and Tejma appeared in front of everyone intact. How is it possible? Rogue couldn't believe that his attack had no effect at all. Just as Rogue was stunned, Tejma flashed and appeared above Rogue in an instant, hitting him with a heavy punch. Rogue's body fell down uncontrollably. Then, Tejma continued to gather energy in his hands, and threw red chi bombs from his hands. Rogue fell heavily on the ring, and just when he wanted to get up, he was attacked by endless energy bombs. Bang! Boom! For a while, explosions were heard everywhere, and a large amount of dust was raised on the ring. The smoke cleared, and the ring was already in tatters. Rogue collapsed in the deep pit with injuries all over his body, completely losing his ability to fight. Ah! Champa gnashed his teeth and roared unwillingly, I lost again. Well done, Tejma. When Beerus saw Champa's uncomfortable expression, he was extremely excited. Brother Rogue. Caulifla and Kale flew down from the audience and checked Rogue's injuries. Bardos appeared on the ring in a flash, took out the staff and waved it, and Rogue's injuries were instantly restored. Then he knocked the ground twice with the staff, and the ring was instantly refreshed. Bardos covered his mouth and said with a smile, have you decided who will play in the next game? Lord Champa is very unhappy now, you must win the next game. Sister, let me do it. Kale was furious. Kyle, we believe you can do it. Caulifla and Rogue took off and flew towards the audience. Both players are in place, so the 4th game starts now. With the host's order, ha! Kyle shouted loudly, releasing all his breath, and the explosive energy on his body continued to surge. His black hair slowly turned into grass green, and he transformed from a petite loli into a King Kong Barbie. Kale successfully transformed into a Super Saiyan 2. What's going on? Ling Tian was stunned. This Kale could not lose his mind in the state of giant ape. Tagma was stunned in the place, and he was still thinking about whether to give way to this little girl and throw her off the ring for a while. How did he suddenly become a strong man? After completing the transformation, Kale waved his fist and rushed towards Tagma without any hesitation. Bang! The collision between the head and the fist made a loud noise. Tagma took half a step back, having never expected this Barbie doll to be so powerful. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.